over to this screen. And before we jump into the actual story so far, Vader had a question.
Yeah, just that
Hmm?
uh last session you said that the floating longswords counted as ranged attacks, so they would fall under my ranged fighting style, wouldn't they?
Um, does it specify dex attacks?
I don't believe so. Let me look at it again real quick.
Because if it specifies dex attacks, the answer is no. But if it doesn't, then yes. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna turn some sounds on for us. When
You
last
gain a +2 to attack rolls you make with ranged weapons.
with ranged weapons, so here's the weird question with that, right? Would that count for a ranged spell attack, or would a ranged spell attack be considered different?
It would not count for a ranged spell attack.
Then I'm gonna say no,
All right.
because it is effectively a spell attack that you're throwing these swords at things. If you were shooting the swords out of a crossbow, that would be different and would absolutely apply. You know, if there was like a special sword firing railgun, like, yeah, absolutely. But because this is not the swords themselves that are special, but the magic involved, I'm gonna say no.
All right. Would it apply if I float my gun and use it that way?
Now, see, that's tricky because the Fortright's assistant would be holding the gun, but the gun would still be firing as a ranged weapon. So I would say probably it would apply. Yes.
Okay.
It would apply normally, so I don't think it would not apply to this. I think, like, if you use the Fortright's assistant on a stone and you somebody with a stone or with a brick, I don't think that would count for, because you're not throwing a rock at someone.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, if you use it to float like a crossbow or your handgun or whatever, yeah, I think that would count.
okay.
Okay. So when last we left our heroes, as you see before you, were wandering through the wilds of Cholt, making their way from Firefinger to Kir Sabal, as I bring up the map for people to look at. They decided to take the canoes that they've been using for the majority of the session overland from the River Tyriki to, I don't know the name of the other river, if I'm being completely honest, through Ghoul territory toward Kir Sabal, the village of the Arakakra, where they were promised a reward for freeing an aforementioned Arakakra from captivity at Firefinger. So once this loads, I'll show you exactly where it is we're going and all of that stuff. Is that the music? Yeah, seriously. I don't know. So, River Tyriki, party was here, just north of Firefinger, and they opted to portage their canoes this way. And they made it about a day. It's 50 miles overland. They made it about a day, which is about 10 miles. So they've got about 4 more of those when they got attacked by undead, as is often the case in Schultz, but especially in the Ghoul territory areas marked on the map. Not only that, but they lost a day because they were not traveling in the correct direction. At any rate, excuse me. I completely lost my train of thought. I apologize. They were set upon by a pair of revenants leading some basic undead, and while the party weathered the encounter with very little difficulty, one of the guides that they found along the way, the white dwarf known as Musharib, he got aced. He went down and had to be revivified by the use of a scroll of Revivify that the party happened to have on them. However, he is permanently at 1 hit point because of the effects of the Death Curse combined with the magic of the revenants that killed him. So he's not in a good way. And at the end of last session, the party was taking stock of what attacked them, where they were, all of that stuff, and they found... Where's all my stuff? It's not loading. They found that the detector that they'd been using to alert them of danger that they picked up from a... There it goes. That they picked up from a illusionist by the name of Ithondris Hearthfire. The detector is missing because it was active when a certain paladin put it on the ground. It fell over, and its spinning wheels served as a mode of transportation to send it shooting off into the jungle.
Locomotion?
Sorry?
Locomotion?
Yes.
Is the word you're looking for?
Tracker go burr.
Tracker go burr, indeed. So that is where we pick things up. You guys are still in ghoul territory. You have fought off the revenants and zombies. Did I give you the XP for those, by the way?
I believe so.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So,
Musharib
Yeah.
is at 1 HP, but willing to still carry his weight if he can, which he's not sure about, and your tracker is missing. Excuse me. We're going to pick up right where we left off. And let you guys... Sorry?
no, go ahead.
And let you guys, like, deal with the bodies of the undead, or find the tracker, or get back on the path.
I think we already blasted all the bodies with radiant damage.
You did, but if you want to do anything else with them, you can. Excuse me, I have the hiccups.
Okay, no one panic. We have people who can detect magic, right? We just use that.
I don't remember if bards can detect magic.
They
Unfortunately,
can.
I do not have it at the moment.
Helpfully,
Oh,
Shago says, "Yes, let me cast that spell."
No, I did not take detect magic. Damn it.
Don't joke, Shago. I'll teach you that spell. Anyway.
Do you know it, Turtle?
Yes.
You didn't the last time we spoke.
No, that's because I found the equation again. I'm gonna cast detect magic.
Cast detect magic. What's the range on detect magic?
It is
30 feet.
Within 30 feet. Okay.
30 feet of you.
So, for fuck's sake, hiccups, go away. So let's do this. Combat lasted 4 rounds, I think.
Yeah.
Four or 5 rounds.
Not a full minute, because Musharib went down.
I know
really
it wasn't a full minute. I was tracking it, and Musharib had, I think, 5 rounds left, which means 5 rounds elapsed.
which is 30 seconds.
Which is 30 seconds. But it's 5 rounds of movement. If we presume... Because Cyrodiil dropped it on the first round of combat, so that's out. I'm willing to give plus or minus 2 rounds as it, like, wobbled before it gained traction. That's still 3 rounds that it just... off into the jungle. Even if it only has a movement speed of, let's say, 15, that's still going to be out of your range, see?
Oh, man. I guess the best plan is to,
Track it the old-fashioned way.
start waddling my way to where it was dropped.
Which is back here. You're not in initiative, so you guys have free movement.
Oh, okay.
This is not the ambiance I want for this place. Excuse me. This'll do. God, it's gonna be hard to do Asaka's voice with me hiccuping like this.
Oof. Yeah, I imagine. Just a bit.
Hopefully they'll go away soon.
Anyways, I probably shouldn't be the one to be trying to find this thing because of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. Which we learned I was wrong about exhaustion.
I don't have exhaustion, and what would it be to track this thing?
To track it, survival.
Is that what we were thinking? Track the thing?
Well, there's the question: can I see it from right here?
Can you see it from right there? No.
Because it's concentration.
Right, I understand. You have 10 minutes of that. It's a good use to go over there and check, but no. Like, let me.
So yeah, the next option will be to look for tracks.
Let me offer Z. This is the range of detect magic.
Mm-hmm.
Not that far.
There's no reason for all three of us to try, right?
Unless you fail. Unless you fail.
I mean, unless we fail. But, like, even at disadvantage, there's always a chance.
Valid.
Valid.
Also, for it to be getting traction, it has to be digging up. It would have had to have dug up a good bit of dirt along its way.
Well, you could also have one of the guides do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they're probably better at it than we are.
Yeah, Azaka can do it.
Azaka, would you be willing to?
You found my mask. I am at your discretion, Turtle.
I severely hope that doesn't mean I'm asking for a fungible favor then. Was wondering if you would so kindly, well, find the tracker. I have never been one for, find the sensor. I've never been one for tracking.
Zaka, like, steps around you, looks at the tracks in the dirt. Well, we're in luck. Most of the fighting took place at the other canoe. She points at a very obvious, like, wheel rut in the dirt leading southward. I would presume it went that way.
Like, Z, like, rubs his eyes. Ah, yes, that's probably a good assumption. He's gonna start waddling, following the...
She, like, holds her arm out.
Sorry.
Of the two of us, the jungle cannot harm me.
This is
and
true.
I'm faster
yes.
alone.
Yes, this is true. My apologies.
You're looking for the weather vane that you have.
Correct.
If I'm not back in... She stops, looks up. She points at a spot in the sky. She says, if I'm not back when the sun is there, start moving.
Alright.
Deal noted.
If there are no objections, Sergeant. I saw you coming down, Brick.
No, that's fine.
She nods, like, shoulders her longbow, turns, and disappears into the jungle.
It sounds like we got a short rest ahead of us.
Potentially.
I'd fucking love one.
Brick needs to investigate something, because something weird happened in that last fight.
So Mishri climbs into the canoe. In the meantime, why don't we grill up some of this thunder lizard meat and turn it into sausage?
That's actually a pretty good idea.
We
Sarah,
probably
just
could.
stop that.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I could certainly use some fresh food.
That sounds good.
I might as well make myself useful. Doctor, if you like, I can show you some edible plants from the area.
We appreciate it. Claps hands together.
Hops out of the canoe. Don't worry, we'll stay right here in the clearing. There's a spot of onion thistle right over there. We can have a look. Heads off. So yeah, if you guys want to take a short rest, you can. Shago will stand watch between the canoes.
Brick is probably like leaning against the side of the canoe, sitting and looking at his warhammer.
Okay.
Hi. Hey, fuck. You all right, Mr. Brick?
Something strange happened in that fight.
Do tell.
Strange how, Sergeant? Shago's like immediately on guard.
I went to tap into that anger I've been using, and it almost faded just like that. I caught this weird scent and almost lost my hold over it.
The undead
What?
smell.
How did you describe it again?
It was like lavender perfume.
Yeah. No, it didn't smell like that. It was a soothing scent, like lavender.
So, what out here would smell like that? Do I know?
Out here? Lavender?
Does lavender grow in jungle?
No, but that's the only thing that smells like lavender. Lavender grows in marshlands, I want to say?
I don't know shit about plants. I'm not a druid or a ranger.
Lavenders tend to grow in more open fields, from what I know.
Right, wet
Yeah.
open fields.
Uh,
But also further north than where Schultz is situated. Substantially. Wrong climate.
it thrives on hot, dry, rocky, or sandy soil.
What? What am I thinking of? Am I thinking of lilies?
You might be thinking of
Probably.
lilies.
I might be thinking of lilies.
Rip.
I
Because
don't
lilies
believe.
lilies are used in medicine and lavender is used in medicine, so I probably got those confused.
I don't believe that possible, Mr. Brick. Lavender doesn't grow this far south. Let alone in this climate.
I'm not saying there's lavender around, but something's weird.
I think Z does a light chuckle. Maybe we're due for a visit from the Fae.
You're sitting on the ground, right, Brick?
Yeah.
Where are the swords?
He probably floated them back into one of the canoes.
Okay. So, are you sitting dwarvishly? Is that a fair assessment?
Define dwarvishly?
On your butt with your feet apart and your knees bent?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So, Musharib and Dr. Lorelei are looking at some like faintly luminescent plants nearby. They've got like 3 blue bulbs on like a stalk. And Henrietta pops out of Dr. Lorelei's backpack, hops to the jungle floor, and just like walks over and sits between your feet.
Okay. And what do you want, chicken?
Just holds eye contact with you.
Yeah. Whatever, I'm not about to argue with you.
Careful, Mr. Brick. I read a legend as a child. If you stare into the eyes of a chicken for too long, they can hypnotize you.
Make a charisma
Nah.
saving throw, Brick.
Oh god.
Oh my god!
I want to be clear, I pulled that out of my ass.
It's perfect framing, though. Okay, so...
Good job, honey. You're going to get Brick mind control.
You go to quip Brick, and you turn your head, and you get vertigo like you've never felt in your life. And you go to, like, say something, and your voice does that weird, like, echoey thing. And
Oh
then...
god.
And then from the ground around your feet outward spreads just darkness in every direction. And then you're sitting in, like, Imagine... Give me 1 second.
Chicken antics. Chicken antics.
Imagine... If the top of an oil slick, that, like, iridescent, shimmering quality, was made solid, but still amorphous, you're surrounded by a cube of that. You're just sitting in it. And the chicken is sitting at your feet.
Alright. I'm not sure how to react to that. I think Brick's just kind of like flabbergasted, looking around like, where the fuck am I?
Alright, so you look around. When you look back, the individual sitting at your feet could best be described as Linkle.
Oh god.
Like, imagine, like, a Hylian, a blonde Hylian with, like, the big ears, but she's dressed like Lucatiel of Mira. She's got, like, the blue and white overcoat and the brown pointy hat, and the, like, she's, like, kind of pirate-ish, like, got the high boots, and she's sitting with, like, one leg bent, and she's just, like, playing marbles at your feet. Like, sitting across from you, just, like, playing marbles.
Okay. This is weird for Brick, but I get the feeling he sort of understands.
Mm-hmm. I mean, am I crazy, or have you seen this woman before? I know she appeared to one of you. I don't remember who.
It was Cyrodiil.
It was Cyrodiil. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to say here.
Okay. So she's like lining up a shot with one of those like steel ball bearings, and she like flicks it, and it cracks, and one of the marbles just goes spinning off into the distance and vanishes. And as if she's just making everyday conversation, the woman says, "Tom not give you what you want?"
So,
He always was slow with his gifts.
how do you...
Because I listen. Like, looks up at you. And when you get a good look at her face, like, she is obviously not from Faerun. Like, nothing... Like, everything about the way she looks makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, she is not an elf. Like, you look at her and you're like, you are not an elf. Oh, fuck. Like, her mouth is a little bit too wide. Her smile is a little bit too genuine. Her eyes are a little bit too bright. She looks like a demon trying to look like an elf poorly, or an elf trying to look like a goddess. Don't get me wrong, she's cute. Like, it's not terrifying to look at. It's not like the Joker. It's just alien.
It is that uncanny Fae presence.
Yes. She smiled at you. She's got, like, normal teeth. Don't hold your breath, you'll turn colors. Goes back to lining up another marble shot.
I think Brick's, like, just putting the pieces together in his head. Always did figure there was something special about you.
But the golden egg didn't tip you off. Then again, flicks the marble, your people are stubborn, rejecting what's right in front of your face. You can call me Henrietta if you like.
Okay. So... I assume there's something more you wanted to say to me if you brought me wherever this is.
No, it's more akin to what you wanted.
Quizzical look.
She holds up a marble, and it's one of those, like, glass, like, cat eye marbles. And just for a second, Sparky's face flashes in it.
That gets a look of surprise.
Don't worry, he's not captured. Well, I don't think so anyway. Not captured by me.
I just assumed he'd been fed to that artificial god.
That I don't know. But I don't have him. I do have his powers, though.
Like, tossing the marble up and down.
I... Care to elaborate?
Nothing more to say. I have his powers. The things that he learned, the algorithms that he created. I have them. They're not part of his soul.
You... have his knowledge.
Well, no. You see, knowledge is colored by experiences. Being able to recall relevant facts, that's knowledge. I have the raw data. I'm still trying to piece through it.
That is such a strange concept to Brick.
Good, it's working.
No, I don't know how to do the math, but I have the solution and the math to work through it right here.
No, she has the equation. She can't read it.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, it's like looking at computer code you don't know how to read.
That's exactly what it is.
Every password in the world is right there, but like, how do you make sense of it?
I should specify, I have a copy of it. And before you say, where are the originals, Henrietta, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
Okay, I won't.
The point is,
She holds up the marble again.
you could probably make better use of these than I could. But Torm got to you first.
Sorry, I'm having trouble finding my words here.
Am I being confusing?
No, but I'm trying to figure out how Brick would respond to this, and it feels like he's still kind of flabbergasted.
I mean, take your time. It's fine.
I know I got some sort of divine power when I first tapped into that anger, but you're saying it was from Torm.
Would you
I
rather
mean-
it be from Baal? Or Grumsh?
Ugh.
Or Selune? As far as I can
I mean-
figure, it's from Torm. It's from one of them.
One of whom?
Helm, Torm, Tyr, they all look the same.
I mean, she's not wrong.
And they're all dreadfully boring. And they're slow to give you any tangible benefit. Quick to buy up the real estate and deuce slow to develop it, tossing the marble up and down again.
So, how does Torm getting to me first factor into this?
And I can't give you this without evicting Torm. And I can't do that without your explicit written permission.
Okay.
You mortals work against your best interests so often.
I would like to do what Sparky did.
Alright.
He closes his eyes for a second. Thinking it over. Opens them again.
When you open them again, she's like... The marbles are gone except for the one that she's holding in her right hand. She's got her legs folded, and she's got this ridiculously huge piece of parchment and a giant oversized, like, quill made of a peacock feather, and she's just writing something.
Alright. So... I gain the raw information, as you put it, from Sparky's head in exchange for...
Torm's real estate. And... You know, it's not seemly to look at the price tag. Haven't you ever heard the phrase, if you have to ask, you can't afford it? And what are they paying you for? Not that I need gold, admittedly.
Sorry, these sorts of conversations are just so alien to me as well. But, like...
I apologize. Is there something I can do to make it more enjoyable?
No, it's fine. I'm enjoying it, it's just I'm having trouble formulating my responses.
Right. I don't think you're taking any more time. Like, it's not noticeable that you're taking extra time. Like, it's fine.
Alright. I'll do it.
That's more like it. Besides, the price tag for this isn't that high. I mean, granted, you'll have the enmity of Torm for a bit, but, I mean... So what? He's boring. The other prices... I'm responsible for some of your traveling companions, so if you could keep them safe, I would appreciate it. And other than that...
She smirks.
Well, there's one thing.
Go on.
She holds up the marble.
If I give you this, I get to take your sadness. Not all of it, just the associated sadness.
Wow, that's... Like, on the surface, like, okay, like, but this is a fae we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. So Brick hesitates, and she goes,
How do you think he wants to be remembered? Dwarvishly? With dirges that last entirely too long? Or by continuing his work with joy? I'm not going to make you happy. I'm just going to take the sadness.
Fair enough. Alright. You can have the sadness.
to write something else with the giant quill.
Is Holderheck your given name?
Like, looks up.
I...
Nay.
Makes another note. Unfurls the parchment so that it, like, rolls out and ends, like, on your lap.
Just sign there.
Alright. Takes the quill.
He doesn't give you the quill.
Or... Sign it with what?
I could hand you a dagger, but honestly, that's not nearly as funny.
Christ almighty.
Okay,
Just
I get it.
will something into your hands.
Oh, okay.
Wield the bloody hammer of Torm if you want to ride with that. I don't care.
I think, yeah, so, okay, he focuses and imagines like an ink pen in his hand.
You get an ink pen. Boop.
Okay. That's
This
weird.
is all for your mortal sake anyway.
There's probably one last moment of hesitation before he signs it.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Bye, Brick.
There is not a injuring sensation. There is not a great cataclysmic upheaval within your body and soul. But with every letter of your signature, you feel drained. And when you finish, your barbarian levels and everything associated with them, skills, hit points, abilities, et al., are gone. You are reverted to just a gunslinger fighter of whatever level that is. And you feel a bit drained.
Right, so,
She holds the marble out to you.
eat this.
You know what? I'm through questioning this stuff. He just takes it and pops it in his mouth.
What is Brick's favorite food?
You know, probably something Baldian, probably like savory, like eggs and sausage sort of deal.
Like a ooh, what if it was like a hand pie, but it had like runny egg in it?
Okay.
Like imagine like a sausage roll, but with like a runny egg in it. Like they managed to do that.
Uh-huh.
So you bite into it, and it immediately takes you back to having a sausage roll in Sparky's workshop. So the smell of the chemicals and the oil, the like gunpowder, the smell of ozone from all the electricity, as well as the taste of that. You see Sparky very clearly working, and you two are just like chatting and having a beer, but it's as if every memory of Sparky is sharper, and it's distilling into your perspective until eventually it's not, but it's almost like those memories are of you. And you get, what level did Sparky die at?
3.
3.
You gain 3 levels of Artificer and +2 to your intelligence.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Holy shit!
Hot damn.
That's a bit of a shift.
Mom said it's
A bit?
Mom said it's my turn with the smarty pants.
The chicken said it's my turn to be the intelligent friend.
And then
Mr. Brick,
when you come out of your memory, when you come out of your reverie, you're just sitting against the canoe, eating a sausage roll.
Mr. Brick, where did you get that?
Yeah, like the rest of you
Nice.
smell sausage. Like,
I think Frick smiles and he just goes, "Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to."
heyo!
Smart ass.
That's not a thing I do. If I ask, I want to know. But you know what? I'll take that as...
Keep it up, turtle.
Z.
What I think it is,
Z.
we're better off not knowing.
Hang on.
Yeah.
According to this map, Z is the only one near Brick. Brick is dressed differently.
Oh.
What have you...
He's
Stop,
got
stop, stop.
his normal outfit on, but you have not seen this. He's wearing the Brick-sized version of Sparky's like full arm gauntlet.
What in all of the realm?
And he's got all of
He's
Sparky's tools on him.
He's like reaching to look at the gauntlet. Mr.
How's
Brick,
that?
what?
Like, Musharib looks over. I got hit harder than I thought I did.
Does the doctor see this? Like,
Yes,
because she looks
yeah.
over to.
Yeah, you all see it.
That looks around for Henrietta.
Well,
Oh, fuck.
well Z's dead. Z
what did I-
gets hit by a man trap and dies.
What did I do? Oh no. There we go. I don't know what I did.
Apparently,
do?
apparently that was the cost of Brick getting the smarty pants. Was the cost of a turtle's soul.
Yes.
She wanted the sand.
Hey God.
And Brick, like, you feel different. Like, you have access to Sparky's spells and abilities. Like, everything that Sparky knew, you know. You have to kind of piece through it. You're kind of wonky at the moment. But, yeah, you've got it. You definitely feel different. You know what magic is intrinsically now.
I just imagine the scene from The Matrix where Neo goes, "I know Kung Fu."
Okay, alright. You're looking like a deer standing at a bonfire. You're alright, Sergeant.
I'm a goddamn artificer.
What?
I
Sit up. Fin twitch up, down, middle. Looks around for Henrietta.
Henrietta is in your backpack.
Oh, I don't have access to control levels.
Just clicking instantly.
Kind of gives
Ah.
Henrietta a scritch.
Z just looks at
Are we
the
going to
crown
get
glow.
a further explanation, Sergeant?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
All right, you fucking stop that.
The doctor is actually laughing. That was the doctor laughing more than it was me.
Sugar, like, steps around the boat.
I think Serta just like hearing this turns back towards it.
In the
So-
interest of you not being sick with some form of jungle fever, Sergeant, I am asking and I want the answer.
Additionally,
You'll have to ask the chicken.
What?
Which?
chicken. Mr. Brick, it's a chicken.
As far as you know.
Did we not explain explain the running theory, Sergeant? I feel like we explained the running theory, or am I thinking of?
We have.
Fair.
Mr. Brick, are these clothes fire retardant? He's like prodding at the gauntlet and the new duds.
Are they?
They feel cushioned.
Ooh, they're frying chicken in the other room.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. What? You have a theory about the chicken?
We've gone through this before.
I too possess
We have
a theory.
We have a theory that Henrietta may be a fae.
I have a theory it's a chicken, and you've all contracted monkey madness.
Petting the chicken,
The
shrugs.
symptoms aren't in line with monkey madness, and while you at Firefinger, I can corroborate that that thing is possessed.
Shago,
What?
do you know what an aberration is?
It is something that should not be.
I'm surprised, because that's actually an accurate answer. Point is, no offense.
He holds up
don't-
a hand before you say anything else. Turtle. He gestures around at like the undead bodies and stuff. This is my market stall.
You, sir, have a very good point. I apologize. Point being, it's a chicken. It's just a fuck. Right, Crownswell? It's just a fucking chicken.
Crownswell turns to the page marked silence.
Wizard.
That is some fucking shade.
Silence, turtle.
It turns to the page for blindness deafness.
Oh my god.
I wish I could have inscribed you with less sass. Come here.
Turtle.
Come here, you.
Turtle.
Yes.
I am familiar with chickens. Answer me this. And do not say, because you and Musharib are terrible at your jobs. Listen.
I would never.
We had the chicken in the canoe. Musharib and I were trying to house it while you were gone. It was in the canoe. We could both see it in the canoe. We approach from opposite sides. We get to the canoe. The chicken is sitting in the other canoe.
Well,
Never mind how it somehow got in the oars of the boat and was a different breed at a point.
what in the world are you? Chickens cannot simply change
The first
What?
time I saw that
because
chicken,
it's
it
just a
was
chicken.
from the mainland, and now it is from the jungle.
Nods in agreement.
Before you say, well, obviously found a different chicken, it's not.
It's not.
The chicken is a monster, and I want nothing to do with it. But what does that thing have to do with you having a bakery role, Sergeant?
Oh my god. You bastard.
What?
That took me a moment.
I specifically said you were eating a sausage roll.
Oh, that, okay.
What?
I thought you were making a really bad pun.
I don't even know what the pun is. Enlighten me.
Something about artisan. I don't know.
Oh, no. Shago knows the word artificer. It's fine.
Oh, this? I guess it just sort of got here. But
Should you be eating it if it just suddenly appeared? We have no proof that it was magically conjured using the correct spells. We
Actually,
no
you have
idea.
detect magic active.
This is
Several
true.
of the things Brick is wearing are now magical.
But is the sausage roll magic?
Yes, it's been conjured.
Yet, even as, like...
Roll, make an Arcana check, Z.
I will do that thing.
It's a modified Heroes Feast?
What in the 13 hells?
Frick's just taking a bite as he's spewing off his drivel.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Brick. Can I see a very small piece of that for a moment?
Get your own.
I need to confirm something, you
Get
stingy
your
bastard.
own!
I'll give it back, I just need to confirm something.
Hands over.
Like, you rip off a piece, or you hand him over the whole thing?
Yeah, probably just rip off a piece of it
Okay.
from the other end that he hasn't been chewing on.
It's like
Right.
dwarven flatbread. Hello, Hoodoo. It's like dwarven flatbread around like a perfectly made Scotch egg.
My goodness. This is...
And you
Well,
can
this
never
is-
make a Scotch egg right because either the sausage is undercooked or the egg is overcooked. And yet, here it is. Perfect.
This is... Well, this is years of magical and culinary training coming together. But why, no one has the time to pour into this amount of training. Well, except for the esteemed Whisk Wizard. But
Give yourself inspiration, you bastard. You got me with that one, you bastard. Fuck you.
Whiskered.
If anybody is wondering, Caprese Whisk Wizard is a famous chef in Waterdeep, where Z is from.
Yay!
this is... Mr. Brick, where did you get this? He's like holding the piece back out to him.
I thought we'd been over this from the chicken.
That's not possible. It's a chicken, and this is a modified version of the spell Heroes Feast.
Would you like to take a stab at what it does, Z?
Yes.
It... Instead of giving you temporary, like, boons, it seems designed to give you permanent ones.
Somehow, you are eating the culmination of a modified spell combined with by the 9 hells, it has to be permanence. But I'm not
Hey.
detecting permanence. It's
like the sausage
I-
roll is like classes aren't a thing fictionally, right? Like it's not. But yeah, it's like the sausage roll is giving him class levels.
Heavy.
it's as if you have obtained the abilities of an artificer through the means of consuming that, well, let's face it, decadent-looking roll.
Brick calmly takes another bite. Mm-hmm.
Yep, tell me something I don't know.
Apparently you don't know the implications of this. Because if you obtained that from the chicken,
It's a Fae, we've gone over this.
but even then, a Fae must have a certain degree of strength to be able to do something such as this. It would be absurd for such a Fae
Make
to
a charisma
simply
saving throw, Z.
travel.
Z is about chicken experience!
Perfect.
And not only Dr. Zerline,
Perfect.
the only one who hasn't.
Absolutely perfect. So Z, you don't have a frame of reference for this. Well, actually, you kind of do because it is something that the Black Staff would do. But the audience hears an intercom just, and then
Vaja?
Get it right, Archfey.
and then the sound of a phone hanging up.
The kind of burr of like a line being cut off?
No, literally just the sound of a receiver going back down.
I'm sorry. It is 100% Z just going, Vajra, and then Archfey, get it right, and then he just slowly shrinks his head into the shell, going like cross-eyed.
None of the rest of you heard that, for the record.
Are you okay, Z?
No, I'm gonna go over here and take a nap now. Goodbye.
Looks at Henrietta like, what did you do?
I've clearly gone mad, so I'm gonna go sleep it off. Goodbye.
Looks at Brick, looks at Henrietta, looks at Z, looks back to Henrietta with the look of, what did you do?
Henrietta
Things
is
flattened.
okay, so Henrietta is purring. Just literally vibrating like a cat in your hands.
We found the vibrate function.
I think the doctor just looks at her, kind of like starts to soften, and then shakes her head. Don't play cute with me!
I got an odd question for you, Fox.
Yeah, what's up?
This is great. This is a great episode.
What would be better for like carving into a tree? Slashing or piercing?
Probably slashing.
I think like Z's like, I'm gonna sleep it off. And instead he walks over to a tree and just starts like carving numbers into the tree. Like looking at the chicken, looking at the numbers, more numbers.
Okay.
Where did the chicken come from?
Oh, I got her in exchange for delivering a baby when I was traveling to Baldur's Gate.
Vigorous addition of numbers.
Yeah, would you like to make a religion check, Z?
Yes. By the power of math.
What the fuck is up
You
with
can
this
ask me
chicken?
2 questions about the Archfey. Go.
Fuck.
Good.
I don't think that's a question, technically.
I'd hope not. So
Fuck, you're not my type.
What do I look like, a dragon?
So, not including this as question, I guess I probably would actually. How many are there?
How many
Archfey.
Archfey are there?
Yeah. Like, is it
That
about-
number is beyond mortal reckoning, and that does not necessarily mean that it is large. It is purposely not something mortals know.
Okay, cool.
So in other words, -3.
Yeah, basically. Like, see, how many Archfey are there? You get an imaginary number.
No,
Square root
that
of -4.
doesn't come out to anything. Nope, that doesn't come out to anything. What's happening?
Conferring in size.
So, I guess
Did you
another...
forget to carry the 1?
No, I carried the 1. Maybe it's I didn't carry the 3. No, that's not a number either.
Brick has learned math. Math 100.
Actually, yeah, like, Brick, you can
Nice.
understand the formulas that Z's writing out. You
Yeah.
couldn't 20 minutes ago.
So,
What's your
Does Z
other
realize that?
question, Z?
so,
Oh no, you got your trig all wrong.
what do you mean I got my trig wrong? The trig is correct. I carried the 3, dropped the 2, added the... You son of a bitch.
You forgot the cosine.
How do you suddenly know this?
Yeah, it's just like he's going through the math verbally, and then he stops, looks at Brick. You son of a bitch.
No, it would be you use
Ow.
sine instead of cosine.
What's your intelligence now, Brick, by the way?
11.
Okay. You went from 9 to 11. Wow, that was actually a really good boon for you then.
Yeah.
I am impressed.
Nice.
Mr. Brick. Second question. All right, here we go. Fuck.
Second question, here we go. Fuck. That is the sound of all thoughts leaving one's brain.
Yeah. That's kind of how the Fae work, though.
You can witness in real time as there's just a toilet flushing sound, and all of the ideas drain to the feet.
Yeah.
Listen, me and Z are sat in an empty room facing each other just going, the fuck? The fuck?
Good.
Okay. This is an interesting one for you, I think. This is a good question for Z, I think.
Okay.
From Z, for Z, etc. How often do they make deals with just regular people?
I mean, about as frequently as demons do.
So all the time.
Yeah, it's just like the difference is like demons or devils, I should say, use like mortals as currency. Fae use them for amusement, so Fae tend to do it as a distraction, for want of a better word.
Fae are assholes about it, while demons are bastards about it.
What's the word for like getting entertainment out of a thing? It's a verb.
Amusement?
Yes. So the person involved, like, generally needs to be amusing, and the deal needs to be amusing. Because otherwise, they're just food.
Right.
So, can you guys talk amongst yourselves for a bit, and I go get a plate of food?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm adding in a ton of stuff. So...
Yeah, no, that's fine. So you guys, like, talk amongst yourselves for a minute, and I will be right back.
You said I had Sparky's tools, right?
You have Sparky's tools, Sparky's spell list. Yep, all that.
So...
Am I an artillerist then?
Sorry,
Or-
I was getting up. I don't know what you said.
Am I an artillerist then, or...?
Not if you don't want to be.
Cool, okay.
BRB.
So, Mr. Brick, like, pulls his hand away from the tree. What did you trade in favor of this newfound particulars?
Well, let's see here. She had to kick Torm out of my head.
Okay.
And she wanted my sadness. I should be saying they wanted my sadness, because...
Fae.
Yeah.
Your sadness. He's like putting more numbers on the tree as he says that.
Petting Henrietta. What a sweetie.
Wait a minute.
About
Your
Sparky.
sadness.
About Sparky in particular, I think.
Doesn't sound right. That's near... Oh, that's near worthless.
The Fae merely wanted me to apparently be less stiff.
Kinda does the
you are stuffy.
Wait a moment. Cyrodiil,
nods along with Brick, kind of. Yeah, apologetically.
Cyrodiil, you have also made a deal with... He just like looks at Henrietta instead of saying anything else there.
Quite frankly, though, it sounds like the sergeant got the much better end of the deal than I did.
Perhaps you haven't held up your portion completely yet.
Topically enough, it's fried chicken. What did I miss?
Chicken's gonna murder all of us this episode, isn't it?
Nah.
They're talking about how Cyrodiil has also encountered Henrietta and how Brick got a significantly better deal out of it.
Yeah.
Encounters of the chicken kind.
So, by my math, this is all bullshit.
I'm not sure that actually comes out in math.
You'd be surprised.
Are you sure about that?
So, right. Let me start from the beginning. A Fae, from my understanding, a Fae or Archfey will make deals with humans about as commonly as a devil would. Though the reasoning is often vastly different. Demons use people, their contractees, as a sort of currency. Fae, however, use us as sort of live theater. We are...
Well, then we better put on a damn good show.
Well, that's the question now, isn't it? There's nothing entertaining about sadness. There's nothing to play with sadness. It's...
Maybe the Fae just thought Brick made an annoying, sad character instead.
Perhaps.
And maybe she thought you were stuffy.
My only thought is, well, the math suggests there are ulterior motives, but,
You keep mentioning these maths. I'm not sure they mean what you think they mean.
I'm just done the maths here, Death. It is right here on the tree. You can read it for yourself.
I've just done the math. It's right here on the tree.
If I remember correctly, the sergeant who 20 minutes earlier wouldn't have remotely understand all that and spotted several mistakes. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It means exactly what I think it means. The variables just didn't come together in a manner that made sense. My entire method of casting magic is manipulating the intrinsic numbers that exist throughout the world.
Okay, I then
Perhaps it's just that an Archfey doesn't care about math.
Okay, Turtle, I have a stupid question then. Why can't you use these maths to figure out where we need to go then?
I could, I just don't have the supplies and the proper variables. Math is all
in
about...
other words, your maths are not nearly as useful as you're making them sound right now.
I mean, when they come to magic, they're incredibly useful. He just fires a bolt, a firebolt in the air using I don't know, like piercing damage. So a little spectral knife comes out of his hand. That was a spell. That was a spell known as Firebolt. I changed the math and it became a knife.
Yet earlier in our adventure, I had to be the one to find the illusions in the portal.
Yes, because I lost that formula. I have it again. With these
I think
supplies...
at this point, dude, it just turns towards, Brick. Be honest with me. Is the turtle just fucking with all of us?
Crownswell opens to the page Friends.
Yes, I agree, Crownswell.
You know that spell is rather devious, don't you?
Oh, certainly. I'd never employ it myself.
Again, like Brick would not have known that 20 minutes ago.
Correct.
You, Mr. Brick, impress me. Because now, all of a sudden, you have a grand understanding of the things I do.
To an extent.
Right. Tell me if you can, he starts flipping through Crownswell and covers the name on a spell and shows the math. And it's for chromatic orb. Do you know that one?
Make an Arcana check, Brick.
Yeah, I was about to think about that.
It's a bomb of some description.
Some sort of explosive spell.
Not entirely inaccurate. Pulls his hand off the name of the spell. You have the intelligence, it's just unrefined. We can
Honestly,
work on
I'm
that.
still sorting through all the stuff that got added to my head.
What was the source of this knowledge? I understand the Fae gave it to you, but from where?
I think Brick just gets this big grin on his face, like pounds his chest. From Sparky, of course.
Turns back to the tree. Quick couple numbers. Really?
Question: is Henrietta actually like visible, or is Henrietta fully?
No. Dr. Lorelei is holding Henrietta and petting her, and Henrietta is purring.
I think the Sirta turns back towards Henrietta. You're really enjoying this, aren't you?
You just get a single balk.
Well, I suppose I look forward to seeing what you can do, Mr. Brick. I've always heard those of a more, those that possess a pack, tend to have a sort of power that I've always been jealous of.
So, question, do I bump my experience up, or is it going to take a very long time for me to level?
It's going to take a very long time for you to level.
That's fair.
Jeez.
You're
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I'm 2 levels ahead of the rest of the party.
I know.
In some cases, 3.
I know. And actually, the more that I'm thinking about it, I think your intelligence became Sparky's intelligence.
What was Sparky's name?
18.
What was Sparky?
Yeah, 18.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
You're 1 point. You're 1 point off. I have a smart buddy.
Now you do. Christ.
Dear Lord. And guess what? That's my 3rd stat at 18.
Because that's your because an artificer and a wizard's int is the raw data, which is what she gave you. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, and I think this works out well. But I can't lie, part of me is just thinking, I was supposed to be the smart one.
I know, right?
And now you play the hit shit good and don't get hit unless it's a fucking crit. Which is still really good.
I mean, that's fair too.
But
If it's not any consolation, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be smart. So
that's valid. And also, like, I do think you should continue to play it like you're gaining that knowledge.
Yeah,
and,
like I'm still like decoding it all in my
yeah,
head.
exactly. But yeah, I think you've got a Jimmy Neutron thing. You might be small, but you got a big brain now.
I've always been somewhat jealous of those that hold pact. When the pact is achieved mutually, and, you know,
Henrietta
with
stops purring.
equal benefit, it's always something poetic.
Can you make a charisma saving throw, Z?
Bye, Z.
Oh god, here we go.
The chicken does not like the turtle.
Okay, so again, you hear.
Admit it, you just want more spells.
Click.
Alright, you listen here. I have all the spells I need. I'm sorry, for context, I'm being spoken to by the fucking chicken.
Pet Henrietta.
So, first of all, Shogo, let me file a formal apology.
Go on.
I'm sorry, you're right. The chicken is fucking weird. But you know what?
It is a monster, I told you.
It is not a monster, it is an archfey.
What is the
arguably-
difference?
The difference is it could be better, it could be worse.
I mean, I've been traveling with her for a while now and nothing bad has happened yet. Well,
Yeah.
not directly
So,
because of her.
Z, you say it could be better, it could be worse. Make a charisma saving throw.
Oh my god. Just stop cutting the fucking connection then.
Okay, you save that time unless you want to fail.
Now get fucked.
Okay.
But, damn it! Chicken sass. Chicken sass.
You stop trying to breach my mind.
I think just by
block.
now, like,
Okay,
this.
you're like, okay, stop trying to breach my mind. Can you make another Christmas saving throw, please? Dr. Lorelai, you feel the chicken tense. Cool. Z.
Trying to calm her down.
You just got dominated.
Oh no.
You're like, stop trying to breach my mind! And you just stand there. And then the rest of you see Z's pupils disappear. And he stands there for a minute. And then he says, look at me! I'm a silly turtle! Watch me do a funny dance! And just starts bouncing around.
The doctor's like trying to stop giggling and kind of like gives Henrietta a little jostle, like no, but like she's still smiling a bit.
So Z, you jump in the air and you do a split, and right before you land in a split, you get your will back.
Oh god, he's fully conscious for the split.
Make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
Well, look on the bright side. Hopefully the chicken made sure there wasn't a log directly in the middle of that split.
So 500 pounds of Z hyperextending both hip joints. Enjoy.
Oh god.
I was under the impression fade jokes weren't meant to draw pain and suffering.
What gave you that idea precisely?
To be fair, I think you were asking for it at that point.
I'm just going to lay down now.
He conks over on his side.
Pets the chicken.
Also, you're still wrong. I don't want it just for the magic. It is a superb connection between two people. Entities. Sometimes it can be used to achieve feats of unimaginable grandeur. And I will say I am jealous of that level of, strength. Not to say I cannot achieve it alone.
Are you laying on your back, like on your shell?
Yeah.
Okay. Henrietta, like, fidgets to get down, Dr. Lorelai?
She'll carefully set her down.
Walks between Shago's legs. Shago's like, right! Like, jumps aside, walks between Cyrodiil's legs, climbs, like, hops up on Z's belly, and just stares.
Bitch!
I am your lord and master now. Cluck for me, turtle. Cluck.
So, while this is going on, while this is going on, I'm gonna link a thing in the chat for people.
Mm-hmm.
Brick is fidgeting with tools, and it looks like he's making something.
Nice.
Nice, dude.
Hello.
Henrietta.
Hello, Henrietta. My hips hurt. I'm very old. Why would you do this to me?
What are you making, Brick?
Leather workers' tools.
Nice. So, Z.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to go on an adventure, friend?
Oh,
Bye. Bye, Z. Make that everyone in the party except for literally the doctor.
That's
For
because the
now.
doctor hasn't asked yet.
What if, like, Z comes back and he's like a fucking, like, warrior now, able to kill people at a glance or something?
So Z,
Mm-hmm.
would you like to make a charisma saving throw, please?
Sure. I caught you while you were in the middle of taking the bite of fried chicken, didn't I?
Yes.
I thought so. Is it good?
It is very good.
Awesome.
I have some, what is this? What is this brand? I got it for Christmas. I have some Malden sea salt flakes.
Ooh, I've heard those are really good.
They're real good. All at once, Z, you are on your feet, stepping out of a classroom in Blackstaff Tower. You are your age, you're not younger Z. You're wearing a long, like, blue and purple robe, and one of those... It's not quite a fez. It's like the bigger fez with the tassel on it.
Oh, yeah.
You're wearing one of those, and you're in the middle of saying... Like you're in the middle of reminding, like, some students in the hallway about their homework.
So, effectively, I'm stepping out of a classroom in the context of Z is a teacher.
Correct.
I think he, like, stumbles over the last portion of the words, looks at himself. Small smile. Hi. This does suit me quite well, doesn't it?
You're on an upper floor of Blackstaff Tower. There's a staircase, like, there's a hallway-ish. One of those... I don't know what it's actually called, but it's one of those, like, staircase landings that is also the hallway that leads to several doors type room. You know what I'm talking about?
I think that's just a landing hallway.
Okay, you're on one of those. There's a staircase leading down on your immediate right, and then there's the hallway and then the other doors. And leaning on the railing, like with her arms folded, looking down, like down the stairwell, is that same, like, Hylian Fey woman.
I honestly think Z is, like, too into the whole thing, because this is something he's wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, you're into the whole thing, but she is notably different for two reasons. One, she's not a race that you can immediately place, and two, she's older than everyone else around you. Like, everyone else around you is, like, in their late teens or students, right?
Right.
Whereas she is markedly older. Excuse me. And also she's armed, which nobody else around you in this facade is armed. She's got a rapier on her belt. Again, like, imagine Lucatiel of Mira, and then imagine Princess Zelda wearing that outfit. That's basically what you've got.
I think he, like, steps forward next to her.
Mm-hmm.
The grandeur of Blackstaff Tower. Quite a thing, is it not?
I think my illusion is rather good. I can make it worse if you like.
No, I'm complimenting your work. You've got it down to a T, really.
Not quite. We both know your classroom would be on the ground floor.
Yes, unfortunately. But oh, what a dream it would be to actually have a class, huh?
You have one. In the jungle.
I do.
Use it.
I try.
Well,
Certainly not
you've
hard
got
enough.
me.
But
What do you want?
What's a way to word it?
Interestingly would be a good start. The dwarf is at least interesting.
Well,
The dwarf, the drake, and the doctor. Rather a fun group, and then there's you.
the stuffy old man that talks to a book. I suppose I'm quite comically out of place, aren't I?
A bit.
Could say... Well,
Before you ask, there are certain things I can't do.
I had no doubt of such a thing.
I can't remove the curses that are easily remove the curses that are afflicting you. I can't save the world. I can't even affect the world, not directly.
Fae are connected to nature, are they not? Archfey even more so, no?
So, about that, and she, like, holds up a finger and steps away from the rail. Something of a misnomer. I am not strictly an Archfey. But my
Oh.
boss is.
Interesting.
I'm just a go-between. And, admittedly, I was due back in the court, half a century ago.
So you're something of a renegade looking for fun.
Luckily for you, I'm one of the ones that find acts of valor particularly entertaining, or, if not valor, at least compassion.
I see. Well, that certainly explains the math.
I was hoping it would
Probably.
explain the doctor.
Well, yes. But the numbers stunk of ulterior motive.
Court is boring. There's your numbers.
I suppose so. Well, let me change a statement I made earlier. It's not about the spells, it's about the ability to bring hope that the additional strength can bring. The knowledge that can be gleaned.
You're an old man playing at hero. Call it what it is. I'm not inclined to give you any boons from the way that you talk. It's much more fun when they don't fully understand where they come from. You know too much and run your mouth.
Well, of course, I suppose everyone has a different definition of fun.
Consider this. Is a goddess more or less likely to grant a boon to a paladin who goes through grand displays every day? It comes off as desperate. Granted, I'm not a goddess and you're not a paladin, but still.
I don't think I ever could have been one either. Chuckles a bit.
We make deals with those whose force of will is able to withstand. From you, we could just take whatever we wanted.
What do I have to lose? What I've been doing, the reason I'm with this group, the reason I've put myself in such an out of sorts place is, well, people have more to lose than I do. I'm not here to play hero.
Trivial things, perhaps.
Still, they have lives to live, people to see, homes to go back to.
And a Soteric cares about none of those.
One such as me, well, like you said, I'm not here to play hero. I'm not even here to play martyr.
The least you could do is be interesting. That is what I require from my wards. Can you hold that into the bargain?
I can certainly try. It just depends what you mean by interesting. Setting ablaze the entire forests of Chult is interesting, but not particularly my MO.
Honestly, what you did with the dinosaur man was
Terribly interesting.
Ah, the Terrafolk leader. Yes, that was...
Foolish.
Oh, it brought me back to my youth. I couldn't help myself when I was in a desperate situation. I called the first thing I thought of.
Yes, but you called to Maestra, who is dreadfully boring, instead of me, who was actually listening.
In my defense, I didn't know about you.
You didn't ask. There are
I suppose
wonders in
that-
the most mundane things. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
So you're saying I should be more interesting by being more open to the world.
It's a start.
Focus
When was
less
the last
on
time you
math.
laughed?
Well, I suppose just now.
When was the last time you cried?
I think he makes his face like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know.
What does it mean to be kin of Aramag?
Means I have been recognized.
But what does it mean?
He is Turtle, and as am I.
But what does it mean?
I suppose I don't fully know. He recognized me as kin, and
If you want power, you have to do your part. Normally, that's odd jobs for your patron. She waves a hand. Depending on who it is, it could be blood, securing reagents, virgin sacrifice, whatever.
but you would ask I be interesting.
No. I demand you be interesting, and then we'll see if you're interesting enough.
So let me get this straight. You want me, the frail old man I am, to be more open to the world and act as though I'm still in my youth. He's saying with like a small grin on his face.
I don't want you to get yourself killed, yet. But it's a start. Your will is too easily broken. I might as well just show you.
Inquisitive turtle face.
I think she like holds her hand out to you, and just for a second, we get the horror movie like static like flicker, right? Of her form overlaid with the Revenant, making the same gesture, and you feel this like tremendous like sucking sensation as this like streams of white energy start coming out of the various holes of your head, and coalescing into a ball. And yeah, like it finishes coalescing, and you get this full body like numbing sensation. Like all of your senses are dimmed. You're like cold, but you don't feel the cold as sharply as you should. Your thoughts don't come as easily. It's like your being is compressed, and then somebody took a melon baller and scooped out the middle of that compression. Effectively, you are hollow. And she just like waves the orb in front of your face, like, you see? And then, with a snap, you're back to normal.
Well, I suppose that was, something. What was that?
The way we feed, flatly.
Soul, then.
Of a sort. Essence.
It looked terribly small for one of my size.
Your will is not particularly strong, and you're not particularly interesting. I can feed on the doctor, and she doesn't even know.
I'm sorry. just that light, like, lip smack of, just like, bitch.
She's got essence to spare. She gives essence to others.
I suppose one whose only goal is to, well, spread hope, knowledge, and feed and save a country really isn't that interesting, am I? I'm like every other hero from a story.
You know what they say?
Storybook.
You know what they say? Every skeleton in the dungeon of the Mad Mage was a hero with big dreams. Every bone in Tiamat's pile was a storied adventurer. You're more common than you think.
I suppose you're not terribly wrong. He laughs slightly. Oh, but you should have seen me in my youth.
I did.
Ah, I was a fool.
What's the difference between a hero and a fool?
A fool will deny any trace that he is such.
She leans over and puts a finger on your nose.
One fateful moment.
One moment. To either live or die. Be it truly, or be it in the sense of your hopes.
So, if you want a patron, can you live well?
I've read enough books in my lifetime. I suppose it's about time I lived them out.
Somewhere in the jungle, there is the means to heighten your will. Find it, and we'll have another conversation.
You've got yourself a bet, madam.
Die beforehand, and I get to eat you.
I honestly think Z just busts into a full belly laugh.
Yeah, so you bust into a full belly laugh, you're back in the jungle, the chicken is still sitting on your shell, no time has passed for the rest of you, and Z just starts guffawing.
It will either be you or... And it just stops and it just goes straight back into the laugh. Like, stops, pause of the curse, back into laughing.
The doctor kind of chuckles a bit too, shrugging.
All right, I see the appeal now.
Henrietta is slowly walking in a circle on Z's stomach, and he's spinning the opposite way, like a gear.
Oh my gosh.
Just bind winds towards his head and starts speeding up.
Okay,
So,
you start
in other
speeding
words-
up and the chicken just drops down into a laying position and just spins.
Yay.
Bending chicken.
I'd call this
The
rotisserie
wind
chicken.
you conjure is carrying the scent of lavender, by the way.
Nice. I'd call this rotisserie chicken, but well, I don't think Henrietta would take too kindly.
Peck.
Sergeant, I think we found the source of your lavender.
Yeah, I figured. I gotta get this round knife just right.
Have you tried backing the edge on a piece of rock first?
Oh, good idea. Takes the knife he's been working on and just goes over to a rock and starts.
Yeah, about this point, like, Azaka, like, comes out of the jungle carrying the censer.
You're all still here?
But yes, we were waiting for you.
She looks up at the sun.
I told you to be gone hours ago.
Shago looks up and swears. Wait a moment, wait. No, it has not been that long.
You cheeky chicken.
What's up, Henrietta?
Well, I suppose we should be going then.
Nods.
We won't make it far.
Should we
We'll
set
make
up
it
camp
somewhere.
then? It's a decent clearing.
Just, like, holds the censer out to Z.
Thank you. But I do believe, Cyrdath, you are still attuned, aren't you?
Yes.
No, not by now she's not.
No one's attuned, yeah.
I mean, Azaka's attuned, it's spinning.
I see. You...
In fact, all five of them are spinning.
I'm sorry, what are the 5 again?
You don't know. But when Azaka holds it out to you, all 5 are spinning.
What do you have these set to, Azaka?
What? Nothing.
I don't believe all 5 of them should be spinning.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I have what it used to be, but I don't know if that carries over.
Well, that may be a good place to start. What are they?
White, man traps, threats, Yuan Ti, and Thunder Lizard.
Azaka, were you thinking of any particular threats along your way here?
No. I found the thing and started making my way back.
Let me take a look at it.
Okay. You take it from Azaka, and it's just chicken, 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 and chicken.
Oh my god.
Nice, just nice.
This chicken.
Hey. Pet chicken.
What did she do?
They're all set to chicken.
I mean, it's a good way to find us.
I found it in the river, by the way.
Oh, it should be fine. It's a magic item.
Do you understand how difficult it is to find something in the river, Tairiki Turtle?
Probably very.
Not particularly, but I hope I hope it wasn't too much trouble.
She sighs. If the doctor can spare a curative, it won't be.
Nods.
Well, hold on, Doctor. What kind of curative are you after? Do you need a heal of sorts?
She sighs.
You mean for the throat leeches?
Gestures at Brick.
The Cyrdath, then.
Now the paladin's got you covered.
Yes.
Alright, so if you wanna cure her disease, then yeah, like you give her the lay on hand, and she turns, and she like. There's no delicate way to say this. She like hawks something out of her chest and spits, and this huge like leech lands on the ground.
Yes, I was serious.
Fins twitch. Ugh! Goes to look at it anyways.
The chicken is pecking at it.
Henrietta, no, that's disgusting.
It's not even cooked yet.
Wait,
What? Leeches are edible?
The point being, we're not going to make it far if we travel now. But if you insist...
Any distance is distance.
Agreed.
nods.
So who's carrying the canoes and who's wayfinding?
I'm gonna send Nibbles up and look for any sort of clearing ahead of us.
Define ahead of you, because you were going the wrong direction.
Good point.
Away from the setting sun?
Away,
Fair.
probably. We know which way Firefinger was from where we are.
You could see Firefinger if you, like Nibbles can see it. It's a giant 300-foot platform of flame. You could see it, I think, 50 miles out, homie.
Right. We know where he's right? Or where we're headed?
Kirsabal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Azaka.
Hmm?
You know the general direction of where we're supposed to head from here, no?
I do. That doesn't answer the question of the canoes, though.
No, I'm simply trying to find our way. With Nibbles. He, like, points up, Nibbles just, like, way in the air.
You probably can't see him.
Up he go.
How about you let one of the guides do the wayfinding this time?
Indeed. I'd rather not
We could also...
on circles again.
Cyrodiil can help. Alright, here's my proposal. Azaka pathfinds. Cyrodiil and Shago carry one canoe. Musharib, if he's able, and myself carry the other. The rest of you keep watch.
Right. The plan was I would be near Musharib, and if he were to lose his hold, I'm to cast levitation to keep it in the air.
Of which I am grateful, despite whatever else I might say. Azaka turns to Brick.
Far be it from me to admit this casually, but frankly, Shago's better at it than I am.
Alright, then switch the two of you out. That's fine.
You are better than me in a fight, Azaka, but... especially in the dark. And Shago, like, steps around. Yeah, and Azaka is like, she's strong. She's a big lady. She could probably carry, like, half a canoe easily. Well, not easily, but you know what I mean.
I might be able to help you with that, Shago.
Go on.
Pulls out a pair of goggles and starts working on them. It'll take me a while, but...
My eyes are fine, Sergeant.
Yes,
Right.
but...
Mr. Brick, you have the knowledge of an artificer now. You have the means to produce items of arcanic strength, do you not?
Yeah, something like that.
Sorry. He can make magic items to a certain degree. I suspect he's proposing he's going to give you the ability to see in the dark.
Do we want to travel in the dark? We're in ghoul territory.
No, but they could be useful.
I mean, traveling through ghoul territory at night isn't the worst idea. We're going to die tired either way. Musharib, I fell into a ghoul nest recently. You what?
Wait, you fell into a nest of those things. How did you survive?
It was early on. One of our previous traveling companions, Scratch, was able to get him out.
I have no desire to travel at night if we can help it.
Nods in agreement. I would rather avoid ending up with someone in a ghoul's nest, especially in our circumstances.
Well, we'll find the river before we find Kirsa Ball. Maybe we should aim for that.
That's a good idea. I'm still interested in this Mesro.
Mesro is near here. Give me a moment. Shago just like steps out of the clearing a little bit, looks around. Got a double 19 on his roll. Nice, Shago.
We want that one or that one, Shago?
Right? Like steps out of the clearing, looks around. Not this way. The River Tariki is just over that way. This is the way the canoes were pointing. We went in a circle. We went to double back. Go the way Brick is facing, or the sergeant is facing.
Hey.
We lost
Like
a
that's a
day or so. So, 30, 40 miles to the next river. But Mesro is near there. We can take a look.
I told you he was better than me.
If there are no objections, Turtle, I will lead.
Hello? Anyone? Uh-oh. Oh heck, I think my Discord did die. Chat, can you still hear me? Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 3, 4.
Hi.
Hello?
Discord voice died for everyone, it seems.
Yeah, apparently. Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Hi, I'm sorry. I thought my internet died for a second.
I did too.
What was the last thing that you guys heard me say?
Something, something, the way the sergeant is facing.
Okay, good. We lost a day, which means it's 30 to 40 miles to the river, but Mesro is near there. And then Azaka says,
I told you he was better at it than me.
and then Shago says, if there are no objections, Turtle, I will lead.
By all means, I'll be here by Musharib.
Right, so we're picking things up then.
Those of you carrying a canoe need to make athletics checks.
I am at disadvantage. This will be fun.
Yerp. Ooh. You don't need to roll, Brick.
Oh boy.
Make sure you've got a nat 1.
Oh.
So you guys go to pick the canoes up, and immediately Musharib's like knee buckles, and he like drops to one knee, and you cast levitate on the canoe real quick, and Musharib like feels the weight relent, and he like tucks himself out from under it, and he says, "Right, revivify, blood curse. I'm definitely not as strong as I was yesterday."
Perhaps both of us could do it together. Hmm?
You
Levitate
got
should...
about a foot on us, Turtle.
Excuse me.
Yes, but that doesn't mean I can't, well, assist.
I
Just crawling on.
suppose.
How about you just crawl on all fours, carrots on a shell?
Because that's actually terribly slow and painful.
Aye, but I can't carry the canoe.
I have no idea what to do here.
Meanwhile, Azaka and Cyrodiil. Oof. Azaka also has trouble. So I think like she doesn't drop it like Musharib does, but like you get your half up, Cyrodiil, and then like Azaka's like tries like 3 different times to get her footing, and then gestures for you to set it down, and then you both set it down. She like gets back, rubbing her shoulder. She's like,
I can't get the grip on a diver. This is problematic.
Perhaps we should take a rest. We've got our heading for the morning at least.
I could maybe get us something to roll them along.
What, you mean wheels?
That's we just carve down some logs, get them nice and round, and lay the canoes on top of them, strap them together, and we move the logs along with them.
That would require an awful lot of tree clearing to get the path wide enough for them to move.
It would require tree clearing either way.
Yeah.
Tree clearing I should be able to do if someone's got an axe or a stout machete. I'd like to be useful for what time I've got left.
Aye.
We've got lots of time left. You're just... well, you're weakened for now.
Mushroom gives you a look like, you know what I mean.
It'll be fine, Mushari. We'll get you back in action in no time, I promise.
Hey, Sure you will. Sure you will. So, we're camping here then. Let's get the tents out, get everything set up. It's mostly cleared from the fight before. Not the worst campsite I've had. It's in ghoul territory.
Yes, Shago, but there's not a great deal we can do about that.
We could leave them.
That's cold.
He means the canoes.
Oh.
He's not talking about just ditching the group as a whole.
That would require carrying most of these supplies and likely abandoning a great deal of it.
It would slow us down in the future.
But the point of our travels is to speed up.
Yes. A thought. We have an excess of food. If we leave that with the item the doctor now possesses, we'll have no worries for food as long as we can find water.
Honestly, at this point, leaving a majority of it might be best. It'll attract ghouls.
You have a point. I say we use the remaining light to divvy up what we have and be done with these canoes.
Alright.
How many people max can these canoes hold?
Half of you, so there's 7 of you, so 4? That's, like, without supplies.
Yeah.
I think it's 5 without supplies, so it's like... If you remember before, it was Shago and Azaka and Brick and the Doctor and Cyrodiath, and then Z was, like, floating on his shell.
Yeah. We had a canoe mostly dedicated to supplies.
Yes.
So originally my thought process was, oh, we don't have to leave both of them, we could just leave one, but then either A, that leaves people walking or swimming, or B, with very little supplies.
True.
A lot of us are going to be lightly encumbered, so our speed's going to be cut by 10.
Certainly.
What's worse, the Doctor can't carry much.
But
You do have the bag of holding.
Canoes, our speed is
Fair.
5, so
True.
We have a haversack specifically.
I can only carry so much.
And what do we need? Water, I assume. Bug repellent, firewood, medicine.
Nods.
Ammunition. Upkeep for our weapons and armor. Do we need water? Really?
Seems like Discord cut out again for a second.
The guys were just talking amongst themselves. And then Musharib said, do we need water, really?
Well, the Doctor can create water.
Yes, but that requires my magical energy, which could also be dedicated towards healing.
Don't you have an innate ability to cast Create or Destroy Water once a day?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it
That's-
requires.
That's a Water Genasi ability.
It is a water Genasi thing. I thought it required a spell slot, or am I just
No,
it
messing
does
this up?
not.
Okay,
It's
so
a
I've been being
once-a-day thing.
stupid this entire time. Got it.
It's innate
Oops.
spell casting once a day.
Fair enough. Then never mind what the doctor said. Then the doctor nods. I can do it once a day, but that's about it.
Can you make enough for all of us?
Give me one
I
second.
could also turn the old alchemy jug back on.
Could
What?
you?
Really? You think you think you have enough? Well, forgive me, enough prowess already?
Alchemy jug's a first level or a second level infusion, yeah.
I just imagine Z's like, oh, you really think you could do something like this?
No, this is Z going. Really? Already?
Deadass?
The doctor is like doing some mental math. I think back in the cave when I used this spell, it created about 10 gallons?
It'll
We
be
need-
scant,
we
but
need-
it won't kill us.
Yeah.
I think the alchemy jug idea isn't a bad one. It was of great use.
Right, so we don't need to carry water. Firewood, I don't think anyone's going to complain if we do a bit of clear cutting. Food,
Here's my question. What
Aye.
if something happens to the sergeant?
I missed your question.
Well, no, Zirda's asking in general. What would happen if something happened to the sergeant? I'm raising the point that we remember what happened to Sparky. If we have no water, we might be screwed.
Again, you still got the doctor.
You still got
but
the doctor.
also,
Yeah. Valid.
I don't plan on dying anytime soon.
I don't think Sparky planned on dying either, just to point that out.
Right, so food we've got covered. I can find edible plants and, well, I can't think of a better hunter off my head than Azaka Stormfang.
The doctor like taps the spear a little bit. This should help with me doing water foraging if I needed to.
Aye. So, medicine, ammunition, supplies, bug repellent. I think we can make do. Aye. The Terrafolk's javelins are useful. Will they fit in your magic bag?
That will be useful, yes.
They should be able to.
We might not want to take all of it, but we may want to try and take some of the money we were able to get still.
Hey, got your wizard shit as well. You haven't used it all, have you?
Not all of it, no. I've still got about, looks in his bag, 2 charges.
Oh, that reminds me. You've got 10, 5, and 5 of the gems that you need for identify and examinate.
Oh, 10, 5 pearls, and 5 agate.
Yep.
I just realized, did we ever actually count how much there was in terms of the traffic?
I'm sorry. I have 8 listed in my inventory. Did I ever, like, figure out what specifically those are? Have I had an agate all this time?
You have 8 gems listed in your inventory?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got those as treasure.
Right.
But no, you never examined what they were.
I should do that soon.
Yeah, you should.
We also never did count out how much money was in there from the Thunder Lizard bounty and the baby stinging panther things.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
Excuse me.
We've also got about 283 gold on just me alone, not including these gems.
While we're on the topic, if we're going to inventory everything, I didn't bring back straight gold. I left it with, someone trustworthy. Said she was a friend of yours. He'd look after it for us.
Who?
Musharib.
I'm getting the name right now. Hang on.
God damn it, Musharib. We have no money, don't we?
Kelahu. She's a bookie in Port Nyanzaru.
Oh god. We're never getting that money back.
We're never getting that money back, probably because she's putting it towards making sure Scratch's debts get paid.
She
Oh.
assured me that she was a friend of yours. Knew you by
She was
name.
She was a friend of Scratch's more than ours.
Somewhere out in the universe. Friend nothing. That was not Scratch.
That was not Scratch. Anyway.
Well, sorry. I brought some gold from the first trip.
And if you remember, she showed you that little coffer of gold that she had.
Mm-hmm.
There was a good amount of gold in there, wasn't there?
There was, yes.
I also didn't bring all of it back. Not a great deal of sense bringing money into the jungle. I left it with Prince Otamu.
Nods.
Or no, she wouldn't. She would. She'd leave it with Jobal, actually. Prince Jobal. Because he's the guide prince.
Right.
I'm going to have to commit all the princes to memory at some point.
That's
Jobal
not
is
terribly.
trustworthy, I assure you.
That's not terribly difficult. I can show you my notes at some point.
Nods in appreciation. Well,
Though
that's
you're
taken
more
care
likely
of.
to get the money back from Kelahu than Jobal.
We'll ask about the money when we make it back to port. So medicine, we have two possibilities for water. We decided on clear cutting the firewood, some of the food.
Ammunition, my arrows,
Ammunition.
Shaco's
Arrows.
javelins, the sergeant's exploding rocks.
Remember, she did bring you some gunpowder equipment.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you want
I
to
have
leave
my-
them, Sergeant. They were expensive.
Repeat that?
Unless you want to leave them, Sergeant. They were expensive.
No. Actually, I don't need all of it. If I had some iron and brass, I can... Tonight I can make what I need from it and leave the rest.
So we're
I can-
keeping the mining picks then?
That is
Aye.
a thought.
I can help you find iron. That's not an issue. It's all over this jungle.
There is an entire mine system under some portions of the ground. So there's likely to be easily accessed veins all over.
There is also a great deal of metal in Rakmar, and before you say, Musharib, you've got a one-track mind, hear me out. If you get there, whether or not I'm with ye, I'm the last dwarf there. Which makes me the Thane. Which means, I'm telling you, even if I go back to the port, when you get to Rakmar, help yourself.
We'll certainly leave you a great portion of it, but...
Nod.
wait. Shall
I
I
don't
say...
know how much is still there, in all honesty. But
I
that's
was
not...
about to bring up Moradin's gauntlet, but no, Brick's not going to bring that up because he said that under confidence between dwarves.
Right, so much of, I don't know how much is still there, how much has been eaten or fallen down the chasm or stolen or what have ye. For all I know, a dragon's taken up root there. But the point is, what is there? It's yours for the taking. I can make do. I just want the forge back. And for that matter, if you do decide to keep me around or come and get me once you clear it out, if I'm still kicking about, I'll be happy to improve all of your equipment.
Not a terrible course of action, I'd say.
Nods.
Alright.
It is still advisable for you to get back to the port, Musharib. I know. I can still hold a hammer, though.
You can still hold the hammer, and I'm sure you can still carry your weight. He like points at the stuff in the canoe, probably literally.
Aye, no, absolutely. I just might not be able to run as fast as the rest of you. Which, given the circumstances, might not be the best thing.
Me mentally cursing that I got rid of Long Strider.
It sounds like we know what we're divvying up then. We'll pitch a tent here, make camp, sort things out in the morning and get moving.
The doctor's already pulling out her medical tent. Well, the tent she has.
What's the matter, Shaco?
Nothing. Why? I know that tone, lad.
You sound agitated.
I don't like ghouls. None of us like ghouls, Shago. It's nothing. Leave it.
You are certain?
I think... Z, do you speak Cholton? I know I keep asking you. I don't remember.
I feel like at some point we settled that Z knows bits and pieces.
I do. Yes,
Okay.
I have it listed.
Seradeth knows Schulten
Sarah
as well.
knows Cholton. So Azaka says something in Cholton, for those of you who don't speak Cholton. For those of you
Oh
who
fuck!
do...
I get 4 language tokens.
Yeah, you do. For those of you who do speak Cholton, she says,
Is this about the fall you took, Shaco?
and Shadow stiffens. And in Cholton, he says, Scratch won't be here to help me this time. I don't like closing my eyes in ghoul territory.
You have your lover, if it helps.
Shadow stiffens again. It doesn't. If anything, she's the weakest one here. Musharib looks at Z with that face of like, I know you understood that.
I think he like does the solemn nodding thing.
I can keep
Not a
watch,
trick.
Shaco. Nothing will happen.
You'll have to sleep at some point, Azaka.
I think Z, with what little Cholton he knows,
Mm-hmm.
I hope you'll forgive me for minor eavesdropping. I don't really think it matters what happens out here. These Outlanders, they seem ready for anything.
They have all been bested by a chicken, Total.
Which, by the way, that's a direct line from Scratch.
Mm-hmm.
He said that to Shago half dozen times. I wouldn't say bested.
Azaka gets real quiet.
Unless you two are willing to concede that you and Mustarib were bested by a chicken. Light laugh. I don't No.
I was bested by a walking skeleton. He says in common.
I don't know Scratch. I won't claim to know a thing about him. But do you think he would have come as far as he did if he didn't have faith in these people? In you? I think you're afraid of much more than you need to, Shago.
Brick will chime in there. Honor him the way he would have wanted to be honored.
I think all three guides, like, glance at you, like, the fuck?
You're surprised he can speak Chilton now?
Oh, no, I didn't say that in Chilton. I thought you were speaking in common.
No, the only person who has spoken in common is Musharib.
Never mind then.
Sorry.
I'm back. Sorry, what I miss?
So
I think
in
I'm gonna
common,
go ahead and add Gnomish to my languages, though.
that's a good plan. In common, Azaka says,
I'll take first watch. Turtle, sit with me.
Of course.
pause, looks at Shago in Shulton. She says,
You should speak to her.
and Shago just nods. And yeah, you guys, like, set up camp. Go ahead.
Really quickly, before, things move on, I think Z, like, waddles over to the doctor, and in Aquan, there is a conversation coming. You are going to have to do your best, because I don't know what's going on, but I think you're going to have to comfort Shago.
Opens mouth, closes mouth, nods. In Aquan, thank you for telling me.
Yes. I know you don't speak Chilton yet. We'll get that covered soon, I promise.
It would be appreciated. I also keep forgetting to learn Chilton culture. She kind of trails off.
Remind me to give Seer Death some thought experiments tomorrow.
Well,
Nods.
you all are making camp. If there's no objections, I'll get a nice dinner going for us. Apparently, we skipped lunch.
Seems so. Feel free.
Mushari pulls out the mess kit, starts, like, chopping up, like, literally just, like, walking over, grabbing plants, and then chopping them up.
Brick is pulling off his armor and fiddling with it. When he does, he kind of just, like, stretches his shoulders. It's a lot more restrictive than I remember.
Did Sparky have any tattoos, out of curiosity?
From what I remember, no.
Okay. Because it would have been real cool if Brick now had Sparky's tattoo.
I'd say the main thing in terms of general differentiating versus, like, other gnomes, like, because he was relatively youngish for a gnome, that's why his hair was still primarily blue, but it was starting to turn white at the ends like gnomes do as they get older. And he'd also have, like, he, like, threaded his beard through, like, I'm trying to think of the word, nut?
Yeah,
right.
Bug nut.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And plus, his clothing was clearly just, fuck it, it fits, it works, who cares?
I put it backstage if it helps.
It fits, it works. Am I going to probably catch fire in this? Who cares?
so you guys go and set up camp. And, Z, you head over to Azaka, who's, like, away from the group, doing some, like, perimeter searching.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she keeps her voice low and continues about, like, securing the area while she's addressing you. She says,
You speak of Scratch far too familiarly. I don't like it.
I say what I need to say to get my point across.
We don't know him, Turtle.
I do not, and I will never claim to.
You survived something that killed him.
If you want to get technical, we all did.
Do you understand regret, Turtle?
Oh, terribly so.
Then understand, I say I have many regrets regarding Scratch. And I do not appreciate the way you speak of him.
I apologize. My words were not meant to insult, if they have.
I do not believe you meant them to insult. Nevertheless, it is difficult.
If it is worth anything, he sounds like a terribly interesting man, and I'd love to read a book about him someday.
She manages a smile.
I am not good with emotion, Toto. I'm not good explaining what I'm feeling or even feeling it properly sometimes. I exist and there is anger or sadness or joy. And they are sometimes separate from how I see myself. Scratch was important to me. And the only person who knows that is me. Okay, fine, most of Port Yanzaru knows it, but my point remains. I did not act on it. In fact, I worked against it. But I know nearly everything that made Scratch Scratch, and you did not factor into it. Perhaps I shouldn't define someone's worth, but his death was recent. We're still grieving.
Did Discord die again?
No,
Cool.
just putting words together mostly.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure Discord didn't die because it did that already.
I understand everything you're saying entirely. Not in the sense that I share such feeling, but I have experienced to some degree what you describe, and, well, if nothing else, I'm empathetic to know. And I promise you, you may grieve to your heart's content. You may feel the pain of the loss of him. I will never insult someone who is gone. And if it is of any worth, I will do my best to make sure that none of you face a similar threat.
She's looking at her Mask of the Beast as you're talking. And you say that, and she looks up with a sudden, like, fire in her eyes. And she says,
That reminds me, Turtle. You are learned.
I like to think so.
You saw the creatures earlier today. The ones in black armor.
Yes, the whites.
You saw what they did. You saw
I
what
did.
happened to... Was that Pearl Musharib? Is it correct to say that that was Musharib?
What was pulled from him?
she nods.
Oh, yes, certainly. How to explain it? What was wrenched from his body was his essence, It was Musharib in the purest form. His soul.
That is what happened to Scratch.
See. Terrible fate.
Is he gone?
Well, that's hard to say. What happened after the White got its hands on Scratch?
The same thing that happened to Musharib, except you didn't catch it.
She makes like a the universal human sound for a projectile, and then points up and then out.
Well, there are a few possibilities. Let's start with the more unfortunate, shall we? There is the possibility that whatever forces... He's like specifically trying to choose words to
Aren't
avoid...
upsetting, yeah.
That aren't upsetting and won't trigger the curse.
Right.
Whatever is afflicting Chult could have claimed him like many others. He could have been whisked away to another plane for lost souls. Beyond that, we begin getting into, well, more hypotheticals. If you'd humor me.
I understand about half of what you're saying, Turtle. Is he gone or not?
I'm sorry. Let me try again. Beyond saying that something within Chult has taken him, or he is in a land of for lost souls, we begin getting into things that are less common. And, well, in that same way, the answer to your question slowly becomes more and more no.
So we can
But
find him.
theoretically, it depends on where he has gone.
If we find him, do you have another scroll?
She
Of
stops, makes a face.
Do you need his body?
For Revivify, yes.
Like, full body recoil, and then she says the Chultan equivalent of fuck.
But there are greater magics that don't have such weaknesses.
Boy, you're gonna need a fucking true resurrection.
I do not believe... I don't think he'll return in the same body. There's a very low chance. But there is a spell known as Resurrection.
You have
at
the means
Crownswell.
to use this spell.
Not yet, but I can... He, like, looks at Crownswell.
You
Looks
need
at...
either true resurrection or wish.
He like looks at Crownswell, looks at Nibbles, and then looks up at the sky. No, you know what, Azaka? I will find you the means to accomplish this.
She holds a hand up.
Wait, Turtle, wait, Turtle. There are stories of people that you want back terribly, and they come back wrong. Ghouls themselves, or worse.
Divine magics such as resurrection have not such weaknesses, Azaka.
I am not desperate, Toto.
You're not desperate, but you want your friend back because he was taken unfairly. Right?
If the means exist, certainly. But if it is binding, Or something. I don't know.
Many magics that involve the resurrection of a being often require the soul's consent to return.
There are some that do not.
There are some that do not. You are correct. He starts flipping pages in Crown's Well.
Yeah, there is a difference between Raised Dead and what is it? What's the other one that sounds like Raised Dead, but it's turn him into a zombie?
Animate Dead.
Animate Dead. Yeah, there's a difference between Raised Dead and Animate Dead.
What does Z know about gods of death?
What do you know about gods of death?
Is there any in particular Z could, in a sense, invoke here that
Make
with
a religion
extra
check. Wow. Okay.
That's a +6 for you, baby.
Yes, it is. So I always get this wrong. Who took over for Lathander? Or for Merkel? Is it Lathander? Or is it Elminster?
Oh boy.
Look it up.
I thought I could remember this and I just don't.
I think it's Lathander, but I'm not sure.
Lathander is the
Lathander,
dog.
Lathander's the Lord of the Empty Road, isn't he?
He's
think
the.
so.
I played a paladin of Lathander.
Lathander is
The god of new beginnings, open roads, and his symbol is often an empty road leading to the rising sun.
Who took over for Merkel?
I'm trying to find that now.
Merkel was the Lord of Bones, and he got cast down, and somebody took his place.
I was gonna ask gods that would be good to comfort
Shrodden Mullafor, maybe? Is that it?
No.
I'm looking at Merkel's page now.
Who's
am I.
who's the current god of death? Is my question. It's not Merkel. Merkel's been cast out.
For a time,
Kalimvor?
Kalimvor. That's it. Thank you. See, I always get it wrong. Kalimvor. Kalimvor would be the one that comes to mind immediately. In terms of arbitration of the memory of the dead, it would be the Raven Queen. In terms of when you die in the Forgotten Realms, you go to a hereafter. If you
want an easy way to remember it now?
Sure.
The dude you always get Kelenor's name confused with.
Yes. Thank you. If you are pious and good-hearted and valorous and compassionate, you go to, a good aligned hereafter. And if you do your debauchery in the mortal realm, then you pay for it in your hereafter. Atheists in the Forgotten Realms don't make a lot of sense because the gods are just dudes.
They are a measurable phenomenon.
Yes. But yeah, the current god of death is Kalimvor. He cast down the Lord of Bones. Again, Raven Queen arbitrates. There's also the specific god of a specific people will often fill multiple roles.
Have I been told Scratch is a tabaxi?
I don't think you have in so many words. However, you know his name is Scratch Face of a Gold Coin.
Right.
And
they referred to him as a cat before.
That is a tabaxi-ass name. That's like a tabaxi, minotaur, or arguably Kenku-ass name. They referred to him as a cat before, that's true. Also, you've been in Schult a while.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Coin was famous.
That's true. Dented face of a silver coin. Z fax machine noises. Scratched face of a gold coin. Oh. Sort of situation, I imagine. But that comes to, like, does he know anything about, like, tabaxi gods? Is there one?
I don't know, as the GM, if there's a tabaxi god. Probably?
Patron deity, Cat Lord, Tezca Nula.
I imagine the because it's the same company that makes them. I imagine the white planeswalker that's basically Leomon is probably somewhere in the Tabaxi Pantheon. A Johnny?
Yeah, a Johnny's the white cat thing.
Yeah. I imagine there's a Tabaxi deity or a hero named a Johnny somewhere. Mostly because I love that name.
If anything, Scratch probably also worshipped Joaquin.
Oh, certainly.
He actively did. That's the god of fortune, isn't it?
God of Fortune, and it's the only member of the new Pantheon that Schultens embraced when they lost the old Pantheon.
That's the god that Scratch was actively reaching out to on a common basis.
Like,
Yes.
we actually had a scene with that.
Azoka, I may have something of a theory, and if it's true, which you'll have to understand is not super likely, but if it is, Scratch is absolutely still with us in a capacity. Though, I'd like to know about him first, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll tell you what I know, which is considerable. Hello?
Yes, hello, hi. Oh. That would be wonderful. Hello?
Hello?
What's going on?
What do you want to know?
I thought you had
Well-
questions.
No, it was like a general, can you tell me about him?
Okay. I mean,
What, you just want me to start at the top?
Let's say the things you think were important about him.
He was a thief and a cat and a liar.
I think he, like, does this, like, brief chuckle thing and stops. I'm terribly sorry. It's not always something like that that people find important about someone they hold in high regards.
When it was integral to his character, Turtle. Scratch always owed someone money. Usually from debts to get out of different debts. He was always scrabbling, but he never went hungry. He was well liked, just not exactly considered reliable. He didn't venture outside of the city much. Many people called him a coward to his face. I did it myself. He, tried to live up to his father. It didn't always work. In fact, I don't think it worked in the end. But he tried. Spoke of his own children. His...
Who was his father?
People called him Silver. You have to understand, Tabaxi names are long and rambling.
Ah, dented face of a silver coin, I presume.
she nods.
The man was famous. Of course I heard about him way out there.
He's a scoundrel himself, a brigand. What is the word that he used? Private. He's a
Privateer.
pirate, but a fancy pirate.
Yes, a privateer, a swashbuckler. I suppose those would be big shoes to fill. Sorry. Continue, please.
His family was considerable in size. I don't understand how it worked fully. What I mean is, I don't think every tabaxi was his blood relative, but they might have been. There weren't that many of them. But they were all family, in the same way that the guides are all family, or perhaps not like that at all. It is unclear, but I do know that his grandmother is the leader of the tabaxi.
I see.
I know he didn't know of the esteem that I held him. It is always funny. The things people would say. I'm not the best at keeping secrets, Turtle, as you might have noticed. I would get a bit too far into the God of Tej, and
She shakes her head.
it was always the same two questions. Either, why haven't you told him yet, Azaka? Or, why are you bothering with someone so lowly, Azaka? You could have whoever you wanted. Isn't that the point? I don't know if I wanted him or the idea of him. Now I won't know, I suppose.
Did he have any particular hold in faith?
Joaquin, same as the rest of us.
The god of fortune.
I don't think he ever left an offering to Ubtao. Though I wouldn't be surprised if he did privately. If it came to light that he was superstitious in that way, I wouldn't blame him. Most of the guides are. I've said a prayer to Ubtao, Merkel. I think I even invoked Malar once.
Goodness.
You know as well as I do, the New Kingdom isn't that old.
Certainly not. I think I may have been here longer than it.
I certainly have.
Sokka, how did he feel towards the dead?
The dead or the ones that walk?
The dead. Those that have left us, but
The noble
not
dead.
without mark. Yes.
I would say much the same as any Shelton. Perhaps a bit of his own way, but ultimately not so different. They have done their duty and gone to rest. Just because the ghoul looks like your auntie, doesn't mean you should stay your hand. If that's what you mean.
Yes. I have an idea, if you'll indulge me.
Certainly.
I think
don't
he
see
pulls.
what choice I have.
I think he like flips towards like the back end of Crownswell,
Mm-hmm.
and does this little trick where he like turns a page while twisting it and then turns it back. And it's like a couple. It's like a paragraph on a couple of different gods,
Okay.
like projecting his knowledge onto Crownswell.
Okay.
There are, as I'm sure you're aware, many gods. Many that, well, govern the laws of life and death. And,
I
well,
think she gets like really like almost angsty and like waves you off like in more than one motion. Stop, touch it, stop. I don't. I am certain you are going somewhere with this that will be helpful. But I don't enjoy thinking of the divine. None of us do. Because if what you're saying is true, then no one cares about our home. And that is difficult to bear.
Azaka, please. My current idea. Scratch may possibly be in service. Now, I couldn't tell you if it's Kelemvor or the Raven Queen or who, but he likely could be in the service of one such god.
What is a Raven
Or-
Queen?
She's he does like the trick with the page again and it becomes just information about her.
Mm-hmm.
She's well, I suppose a fair way to put it is a pseudo-goddess. Certainly divine, but without form. She relies on emissaries, and she deals in the memories of the dead and making sure the dead stay dead.
Is she in the habit of hiring dragons?
Sarah just like,
What have I been talked about? What? Yeah. Well, she's in habit of hiring those with the will to fight on the same terms as her, I do believe.
The first time I
Those-
have heard of this queen is from the... She's not a dragon. What is she, Turtle?
She is dragon kin. She is like you, but, well,
She cannot change her face.
no. She is, in a sense, what you are, except imagine you could never turn back. She was born this way.
That sounds frightening. I don't like to think about that.
She is, in essence, a humanoid dragon. Much weaker.
But
D-
what is she?
Uh,
What is the word that you call her?
Dragonborn.
No, the shorter one. It is a title, I think.
Oh, dame. It
What
is
is
the
that?
term. It is the term for a female knight.
That is an... I know what a knight is of a sort, I think, but, if we're taking an evening to educate Azaka,
A knight is a warrior who has been recognized by a high authority such as a king and has been given a title.
what about a prince?
Yes, certainly a prince could
So-
do a knighting.
Shago, Musharib, and I are knights.
Yes, in a sense, certainly. And let me tell you, it is a high honor to be a knight.
So she is a guide.
No.
Well, you said a specialized warrior.
Yes,
I
what is
don't
the way
mean
to
that
put
she
it?
is a guide for Cholt, I just mean in her own fashion.
Oh, yes, then certainly.
I think I understand. What is the word?
Dame.
Dame.
A
So-
good example would be the good Dame Azaka Stormfang. Aye, that has a ring to it, doesn't it? Turtle smile.
I prefer Huntress.
As you wish.
Though I do like the good Dame Shago.
I must say, I do too.
The good dame, the mighty Shago. Or something like that.
Absolutely.
Do you know, he calls
I
himself mighty with a straight face.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw him choke out hold on. God, Fox. I almost called it a toral. I'm pretty sure I saw him choke out a troll once.
Shago, how do you introduce yourself?
I am the mighty Shago. Why? Saki gives you a look like, see? What? I feel like you're laughing at me. What?
Nothing,
no.
Shago.
We're just discussing how I believe we believe the title, the great mighty Dame Shago may be more befitting.
Like the dragon?
Yes, it is a title of high honor, one that has been recognized as a warrior.
Doctor! Is Sibs here?
Hold on.
Tibbs.
Tibbs, did your
Tibbs,
internet die?
Uh-oh.
Tibbs.
Still in the Discord.
No, sorry. Sorry,
Hi.
I dissociated for a hot minute. Sorry, what did I miss?
You're good.
Shago just shouted the name Doctor.
Yes?
What does dame mean?
It's the term used for a female knight. Dame Cyrodieth, for example.
Shago looks back at Z like, you motherfucker.
Why?
Because the turtle is about to be turned into soup.
Oh, come on.
What?
Sir Shago the Mighty would probably be better.
Fine, whatever.
Apparently we're knights, Shago.
What are we when the sun comes up?
Not that kind of...
Ugh.
The knight they're referring to is spelled with a K, dear. Her face immediately goes purple when she realizes she said dear.
Is it not normally?
That's because that's a title. That form of knight is a title.
A knight is a warrior who has been recognized by a great power, such as a king or a prince. Sometimes a god.
Azaka, were you recognized by a god or something?
What, you?
Musharib? Hey, I was! Your mother! Does he actually laugh?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, so Musharib looks over. What? His mother is a prince!
Oh! Oh! Ah!
I just imagine, at this point, Sarah that just walks over. I've been hearing Dame a lot. Is something going on?
I was curious about you, mostly. And you don't talk a great deal. Meanwhile, the turtle doesn't shut up, so I thought about making him useful.
Now Musharib is laughing.
Cyrodieth.
Yes.
He, like, switch. Do Dragonborn get Draconic?
Yes.
Yes.
I think he, like, switches to Draconic. Have you met your good lady in person? Or, well, to the degree you possibly could, considering her condition.
No one actually meets the Queen in person, but I have met with one of our emissaries, yes.
What do you think the possibility is that this scratch could now be one?
I imagine, like, It's kind of like a serious look to. It's kind of like the look of like trying to figure out if like Z was just messing with her or not there for a second.
Like, do you even understand what you're talking about?
Yeah, almost.
Deadass?
Do you think he could have become such an emissary, or do you think he could now be one that does a job similar to yourself?
From what I heard about him, it is possible that the Queen may have saw use in his talents.
I think Z smiles.
It
Glad
is
you
unsettling
agree.
when you do that, Turtle. Stop it.
Sorry, I had a conversation earlier that I should probably loosen up and be a little more interesting.
You, the fact that you have teeth at all is unsettling.
Yeah,
I
all
think
turtles have teeth.
I think when interesting did not mean making us wonder if you're planning to turn on us or not.
Hang on. You say all turtles have teeth, and Azaka does like a triple take, like what? Like that Firefly gif, like what?
Yes. Though I suppose I should let you in on the conversation, Ahsoka.
I'm not certain I want you to finish the sentence about turtle teeth. Yes, your hissing conversation.
What's this about turtle teeth?
Don't worry about it, Chaco.
He switches to, Here's a weird question for you, Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Can Therianthropic entities understand Sylvan?
No.
Does
If you're asking if
Azaka...
Azaka knows Sylvan, the answer is no.
Okay. I was also asking that for my own edification, because I was curious. I think he just switches to Chilton. I believe, and Dame Cyrodiil has just, in a sort of sense, agreed, Scratch may well either be an emissary or might be working for the Raven Queen under the same job the good dame does.
Turtle, if you're going to leave me out of a conversation, at least make sure it's a language I don't speak.
Oh, no, you're free to...
Oh. I just realized Sparky knew Sylvan, so I probably do too.
Yep.
So,
Is that preferable? I suppose my concern is somewhat less of what it is Scratch is doing currently, and more... How do I put this? What is that orb, and where was it going?
well, the orb is the soul. So to say, if Scratch was scooped up by the Raven Queen in a metaphorical sense, he like looks at Cyrodiil when he says that. It could mean he is still with us and, in a sense of speaking, slowly being made stronger through work by the Raven Queen.
So what happened to him was a good thing.
About as good as could happen, yes. If this is what occurred,
So
then...
the Raven Queen was also trying to claim Musharib?
Now that, I have no idea.
Not exactly. If Scratch was claimed by my queen, then that's because the queen saw potential in what he could do to help her
And
work.
your queen does not see potential in Musharib.
She may have, she may not. It
Oh, hell.
depends.
You
She's
saw...
looking for those who share her views on how things should be.
You saw how quickly both souls moved. Did you not?
I did.
Was Musharib's about as quickly as Scratch's?
She nods.
Then I suppose there is a possibility.
So the Raven Queen sent the... What did you call them?
I do not believe the Whites and the Raven Queen are
No.
connected.
Like, just
Actually,
when
as Sarah-
Azaka mentions that, I think Sarah does. It's like just the hard look and just like not again shouting, but just like firm no.
Yeah, you put your foot down on the topic.
The queen never sullies her hands with the undead. To
Yes,
her, they are an abomination that should be purged from all realms.
does his little like
Drastic.
does his little page trick again. She's actually had a very long history of having a part in the doing away with of great and mighty undead entities.
Sorry, what did Azaka say also?
She said drastic. That was it.
To my queen, she sees the undead as they truly are, an
So,
abomination of life and death.
You are here to kill all the ghouls in the jungle.
My
You had
queen
best
begged
get to
me
work then, they're breeding.
My queen had me come here to do a job. I do not know fully what it is yet. All I remember was that I was to seek out a group here with a goal in mind.
Perhaps you should pray and seek more answers. You've achieved the first part. Perhaps there's more to the instructions you have yet to receive.
And I mean,
Yes.
this sounds ridiculous, but no matter, really. If you happen to see Scratch, tell him I want to talk to him.
If I see Scratch, it will be because my queen wills it.
I think Z just like looks up to the sky. Oh, Miss Raven Queen, great glorious goddess of memories and death. Could we make it so?
Roll a d100.
Oh god.
Nothing happens.
It was worth a shot.
Turtle,
Meanwhile,
I'm going to say this once. Do not mock my faith again.
I was not. I'd never. Your faith has seen us through many trials.
meanwhile, Dr. Lorelei, you're setting your tent up while they're having this conversation. Shaco comes over and starts like hammering tent stakes into the ground for you.
Oh, thank you.
What did the turtle tell you?
Conversation was going to happen.
What, he called me a coward.
No, not at all, actually. What's wrong?
Would you believe me if I said I don't care for the undead?
Small, kind of like nervous chuckle, but nods. I understand that. Since coming here, I've seen the terrible, terrible things they cause.
3 times with your tour group. I have faced odds with the undead that I should not have walked away from, and did so in no small part thanks to you. But it makes me uneasy. More so now with those things that killed Scratch nearby.
Nods kind of understandingly.
Can you... I feel like I am wounded, but I cannot demonstrate where.
Out of character. It would not be a stretch for the doctor to say what you are going through is called trauma.
No, not at all.
To be frank, what you're going through is called trauma.
So can you help?
Well, it is my profession to be a form of trauma doctor, but my specialization is in the physical with a little bit of dabbling in the psychological.
Psycho what?
The way the brain works.
I do not think I've been hit on the head, Doctor.
Well, here's the thing. That's what's interesting about psychological things. You don't have to be. For example, some psychological damage comes from when someone else is hit like that.
Like spreading fire.
Nods. You see the spark go off, and that sticks with you. It continues to burn.
Like a bite from a spider.
That isn't too off, yes.
I don't think I was bitten by a spider.
Not a literal spider, but to be frank, us, our entire group, you, me, we've been through a lot. If not a literal spider bite, a morale spider bite.
What is a
And
moral
that-
spider? I thought a moro was a mushroom.
Bad explanation. The doctor, pauses for a minute trying to think of how do you explain this.
So, you pause, and Shago just keeps on going, and he says, Zaka told me to speak with you.
Then feel free. I'm here to listen.
Called you my lover.
Face kinda goes purple, diverts eyes a little bit. I've actually been wanting to talk to you about that.
Talk or talk? There's not enough Tej here.
Inhale, exhale. Shago, what are we?
What? I am a guide in the servants of Fort Belluary, and you are a fish woman.
Not like that.
Are you sure you didn't get bitten by a Moro spider?
She kind of chuckles a bit, rubbing her neck. I mean, Shago, how do you view me? Beyond the doctor, not as someone who is a medicinal professional, but as Zuli Su Lorelai.
You are a woman, a foreigner, you are skilled with your hands, you fix what is broken. What are you asking me?
Her face is just slowly going darker purple. Do you
I like making you turn that color, but I'm not sure how I'm doing it.
Do you like me? Beyond how usually that word is used?
If I am understanding what you're asking me, there are very few people that I would prefer to be surrounded by ghouls with. Most of them better in a fight. Shaco might be a little bit too dense for this conversation.
A little bit, and the doctor is trying to kind of determine if she wants to just drop it, or if she's going to be very fucking blunt.
Do it, you won't.
I think the doctor inhales, pinches her nose bridge. Shago, you have seen me more vulnerable than anyone else, both in combat and on the nights and days that we have spent together.
Right. And this is problematic.
No, I just wanted to know where you stand on that. If...
Look down at his feet.
Rolls eyes, kind of smiling a bit. Not literally,
Where I stand on what? I don't intend to have a building facade painted with your likeness. That's what you're asking?
I wouldn't ask you to. But,
I'm not one for composing sonnets either.
I honestly would probably die.
They
of the
wouldn't be very
embarrassment.
good. I might pay someone, but... Why, are you asking me for sonnets?
No, not at all.
You're asking me for chocolates.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt,
Are
but...
you asking me for children?
Face goes very dark purple. No, especially not right now, but that's what I'm asking. After, beyond the jungle, beyond everything...
Beyond everything, we'll probably be dead.
Shago,
There's quite a lot of everything.
do you love me? Or is this just something you wanted to try? It's fine either way. I just have been thinking about it and I would like the answer.
Slow blink. To be honest, I hadn't really thought about it. This might seem like a strange question, but do you define love differently than I do?
Shrugs. I don't know how you define it.
I don't know how you define it. I don't know what you're asking me. To be honest, from the fighting off ghouls, chasing about the cursed chicken, dealing with mostly ghouls, your quest to save the world, apparently, from multiple curses. How do you have the time to ask such questions?
Shrugs. How do...
Am I that important to you?
She kind of opens her mouth, closes it. She nods. I greatly appreciate your company, and I greatly appreciate your skill, and I appreciate you in a way I haven't really appreciated anyone since I was younger.
It is better to face the jungle with warmth than without it. It is a resource. I don't mean that to diminish what you're saying, but it certainly helps. When I say I haven't thought about it, that is not immediately in the negative. It's just... Shago has not thought about it. Shago has not thought about what Shago is going to have for dinner next week. Shago has not thought about what is going to happen when his mother, one of the richest people in Port Nyanzaru, finds out that he is not dead.
I don't know if it's of much help, but if you'll have me, I'll try to help with those.
I've not much thought about what I'm going to do when we get back to the port, because frankly, I don't think we're going to get back to the port. At least, not me. If you want me to love you while we're out here, I think I've already done that. He grins.
Blush kind of returns.
If you want something a bit more official, and understand, I say this with no subtext. Ask me when we're not fighting for our lives.
I can do that. And she smiles and gets back to work.
I'm not adverse to the prospect, but I'm not one for prospects out here.
Understandable. I just thought I'd ask, finally.
Do you think you're going to survive this?
I would like to think so. I would like to think that that most of us would survive this, but with Sparky and Scratch, I'm holding on.
Like, you feel Shago put his hand on your shoulder and he says, "No, I'm serious." Like, turns you around gently. Do you think you're going to live through this?
I don't know. I've come so close to dying so many times where people have had to pull me back from the brink, like I've had to pull so many others. So I feel like I can't afford to
Do you
die
think
out
that
here.
will be easier or harder if we speak of pretense?
Once again, not entirely sure. I feel like it might be easier.
I think it would be harder.
Understandable.
To be honest. And he, like, fixes your hair a little bit. I'm already concerned I'm showing favoritism.
You do your job well enough.
You're on the receiving end of that favoritism. I am grateful for your healing. Both forms. But I want to be able to choose. If I have to choose who to save.
Understandable.
I don't like the prospect of my choices being defined for me. Though, when all of this is over, certainly. But I have a very specific rule in that regard. You
Kinda
are
gives a
never
nod.
coming out to the jungle with me again.
Blinks.
Now, if you are going to be my wife, I will put you somewhere comfortable, somewhere you want to be. I'm not going to lock you in a gilded cage, but you are not following me to work.
The very dark blush comes back. I appreciate it, but as long I would still
Preferably on
like
the
to be able to do my
mainland, where you're
work.
not going to get attacked.
Honestly, I've considered staying in port once we finish this anyways. The people here need help, and apparently the Brotherhood of the Fountain of Life agrees.
I don't disagree, but the port is still dangerous. I would... He pauses. Worry about you.
And I would worry about you if I was back on the mainland. I'd worry anyways, but even more so if I was an ocean away.
Then it sounds like the decision is made for you. I don't want to worry, and you don't want to worry, so there's the matter.
Nods.
You are welcome to keep a spot warm by the fire, but if you don't want to, I understand.
Nods again.
Though, for what it's worth, you made Azaka jealous. Smirks at you.
Eyebrow quirks. How I made her jealous when
I know,
she's...
right? Look at her. He's
I'm more
fucking with
saying
you at
that-
this point.
She kind of gives him like that smirk and kind of gives him a small shove. Ha ha.
Because you had the courage to speak on your desires. Act on them even. She never did. Like, we see, like, Azaka and Z and Cyrodiil talking in the background.
For some people it's easier, for others it isn't.
As well, not everyone can impress the mighty Shago.
Smiles a bit.
Speaking of which, have you had a goddess in your backpack the entire time?
The Fae aren't exactly goddesses, but they're
The
somewhat
sergeant
akin to
suddenly had different armor.
the Fae are strange. It would take an entire night, maybe more, for me to explain what I know.
So are we going to have that conversation, or are you going to send me back to the bonfire?
We could have that conversation.
Smirks at you. Will we be conversing, Doctor, as he steps into the tent?
Nods and follows. Because, yeah.
So, cut over to break. What are you working on, homie?
Okay, clarification real quick.
Yeah.
Did I get Sparky's studded leather?
No.
Or...
No, the only thing you got was his, like, artificer's gauntlet.
Okay. Yeah, he's just tinkering with his scale mail. He's...
Unless you had literally taken that from him when he died earlier.
No. But he's just... He's got his smith's tools out. He's adding something to the scale mail.
Okay. So, Mushari, like, walks over, stirring a pot of something, like, against his hip as he comes over. So, everyone else is busy with their own business. You got a moment?
He looks up from his work. Aye.
I got 2 questions. Suppose I'll start at the top. What happened to you, lad? Save the sophistry for the wizard. Like, what happened?
It's difficult to explain.
Lay it
Intervention of
out
higher
in
powers.
dwarvish terms.
Intervention of higher powers.
That's certainly laying it out in dwarvish terms. What? Why? You're a lad Torm, then?
No, actually.
Don't feed me that line about the chicken.
Then what do you want me to tell you?
The truth?
Oh boy.
Also,
Apparent-
and he like holds a spoon out to you. It's like covered in polenta. What does this need? My taste buds are muted, and I'm not sure why.
Okay. Like, not gonna ask too many questions. Takes the spoon and has a taste.
Yeah, do you not know what polenta is?
No.
It's basically grits.
Yeah, okay.
Damn it! Now I want grits.
It's like
What the
wheat-based grits instead of corn-based grits, I think.
What the fuck are grits?
Corn-based polenta.
What's
Grits are-
polenta?
It's apparently polenta is like cornmeal porridge.
Yeah.
And that's basically what grits are, but different grains.
What?
Hun, I have like packets of microwave grits here at my house because, of course, my family does. I'll have to give a pack to you sometime to try.
Okay.
Yeah, so
They're good.
you can just say whatever, like whatever you think it needs. Like you can just say it.
God, I don't know. I don't know anything about cooking.
You can say
Cayenne.
salt. You can say acid.
Cayenne pepper. The answer is always
You
cayenne
can say
pepper.
heat. You can say texture. You can say like whatever.
It's a bit runny.
Suppose you're right. I'll fix it up. Can't have runny porridge anyway. So, intervention by a higher power. To what end? They have a grand quest for you.
If I told you the truth, you wouldn't believe me.
I'll believe quite a lot, lad. I believed you when you told me I died.
Apparently, an archfey has taken an interest in this group.
Can they get my soul back? Or whatever it is that I've lost.
Maybe. I didn't ask. But
I
what they
don't
did
mean
to
to sound
me,
ungrateful, Sergeant, but, why not?
things happened rather quickly.
I'm a bit naked out here. I don't know precisely what's wrong with me, but I don't feel any better than I did this morning. And, well, how do I
There
know I'm not just going to
anything I can do
kill
with my
her?
newfound knowledge?
No. Because
No?
you don't know enough
Alright.
about the death curse.
Yeah. And Sparky didn't either.
Correct. Like, you could try to put some of your new mental capacity to it, but it'll be a difficult check.
That's fair.
And it would be religion.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna roll it.
I'm concerned that I won't... You know, that I won't wake up again if I go to sleep, or... I don't know, something in my blood tells me that a good night's sleep won't do me any good. If this is my new normal, fair enough. Until something gets the better of me. Not like we're neck deep in ghoul territory in the Chultan Wilds or anything. But, it's not exactly the best state. Not exactly, best news I've ever gotten. Should I Should I be expecting this archfey to come and make me an offer?
You had the smell of lavender in your nostrils lately.
Can't say that I have, no.
And I wouldn't be expecting too much.
So, on to lighter matters. What does this ultimately mean for you? Like, can you shoot rainbows out of your hands now, or something?
I picked up... So... To explain exactly what happened, rather. The Fae gave me the accumulated knowledge that my friend Sparky had.
I don't fully understand, lad.
Neither do I, to be fair.
So you're smarter than you used to be.
I'm
You got
still...
someone else rattling around in your brain?
I don't think so.
Right.
I'm still putting all the pieces together.
Can you fix me? Get me back into fighting form?
I do not think so. I don't think artificers get remove curse or anything like that, do
Not
they?
really, no. Alright, easier question. Are you alright? You not going to die in 3 days or some like?
I don't think so, but... He's thinking back to what Henrietta said about the enmity of Torm. The Fae had to clean house in my head, apparently.
Clean house in your head? What? You got some kind of, parasite?
Not quite in the physical sense.
Well,
In the
go
divine
on.
sense.
A divine parasite. I believe that's called a cult.
From what I understand, Torm had his grip on me.
So you just kindly gave him the boot, did you?
And I don't know if he's going to be happy about that.
Probably, but I don't think he can do anything about it. I mean... You'll forgive me, it's not like he's Moradin. Why'd you throw in with a human gold anyway? For that matter, why... Hey, it's not my business, lad, but... You don't seem to care about your people. About the old ways. The good ways.
I guess I'm not the most dwarvish of dwarves. I didn't care for castes. I didn't care for my lot in life.
Were you born in a horde then?
Aye.
Which one?
I believe the one I settled on was Citadel Felbar.
Okay.
That's it.
I believe it's Feldspar, but that could be wrong. I feel like it's Feldspar, but that might not be right.
No, what I'm seeing is Citadel Felbar.
Felbar, okay.
Yeah. Felbar.
Felbar.
Way up in the Silver Marches.
You're a bit far south, eh? Said you didn't care for your law. That
Looks you up and down.
I'd ask if you're fit to be a soldier, but you're bloody flaming fist. What they have you marked as? Gold herder?
Stonemason.
That's a respectable law. More than respectable. That's the ground floor of finding yourself a chief architect. Why, I'd almost trade you. What do you mean you didn't care for it? I don't know a dwarf alive that would turn the nose up at chief architect. Unless, of course, you were shite at it.
Not shite, but was never as good as my peers or my kin.
So what? You decide to go topside, go find a Umaron and blow them away with your skills? You wouldn't be the first.
Something like that.
Yeah, alright, fine, let's say.
It like puts the pot down and starts like chopping up some meat.
Let's say you're not cut out for cheap architect. Let's say, Bonnie Anvil Flake is better than you in every respect. Hey, okay, fine, fair enough, but Mason is a respectable lad. And you don't have to get your beard mussed in the mines. The damn sight better than... Well,
He like gestures around with the knife.
where you are now. Don't tell me you'd rather be here. Having a
Honestly,
shite in the bushes.
fighting's always been in my blood. Couldn't tell you the number of brawls I got into back in Baldur's Gate.
Sure, I mean, we all love a good brawl, and it's in our nature.
But I was damn good at it.
You're only good at brawling until you lose, lad. And I don't mean get clapped around the ears. I mean when you lose and you can't get back up. Like what happened to me. My fight's gone. Got no head for it anymore.
And it's beyond fighting, it was this work that I'm doing now that always fascinated me. A new way. Who says we have to stick to the old ways?
Who's it? The rune scribes! That's centuries, millennia of history that you're just turning your nose up at like some pointy ear.
I acknowledge the importance of history. But at some point, things will change, and we'll be left in the dirt.
We're at home in the dirt. We make fortresses in the dirt. Best bloody artisans in the realm.
And when the dynamite sends it all tumbling down, what then?
Then we dig. That's what we're good at. I'm only out here, in the first place, to get my home back beneath good stone. It's where we all feel at home. Fine, you don't, but you're young. Give it time. Providing you survive all of this nonsense, all you'll want is a nice marble hearth and a pint of strong whiskey.
He sighs. Maybe. But until then, I've got a job to do out here.
No, I understand that. I don't mean to say you're wrong for being out here. It's just... Look at the way you hold the tools, lad.
Looks down at his hands.
No one else, no one but the Adwaron can hold the tools that way, can make the wonders that we can make. You say dynamite's gonna bring it all down. You've no faith in dwarvish engineering.
I have faith, but I worry. The march of time and progress continues without us. Humans, you underestimate their ingenuity.
No, I'm well aware of their ingenuity. What I underestimate is their lifespan. They're like goblins. They have a habit of blowing themselves up. Breed like them too.
And they continue to pass their knowledge through their generations as we do.
Aye?
They
Well,
develop.
no, not like we do. Go on. Aye? Go find a new mar. Anyone. Pick one. You go up to them and you say, hey, tell me about your grandfather 5 generations back. They're not going to be able to do it, lad.
How long ago was it that humans were just swinging crude clubs at us?
I like to think we were smarter than that. Sold them for what they were and opened delegations immediately. Umar and Adwar have been allies for time immemorial. You afraid the Umaron are gonna march on the holds?
Bad wording. Then, how long ago was it that they were swinging crude clubs alongside us? With our masterwork dwarven axes.
300-400 years?
And look how much they've changed in that time.
Aye?
They're going to keep changing, keep growing.
Not if Maestra has anything to say about it.
I've been on the forefront of the advent of gunpowder and fire sand.
Aye, fire sand, an orcish invention.
One that the humans are now adopting. And the gnomes.
As are we. It's a good invention. I won't dispute that. It's a good invention. But listen, if you're worried about the Umaron turning into a bloody kobold warren and wiping out all life on Faerun, they tried that! And we got the bloody spell plague. These things have a way of correcting themselves. You just keep your head down and you keep hammering.
Perhaps.
Tell me something. Is it not true that the Ardwaron were the least affected by the spell plague?
I do not know enough about the spell plague, but, like, out of character, I don't.
I mean, he's quoting propaganda. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can always talk to the wizard.
Or, fine, I'll make it even easier. When was the last time an Ardwaron cared about whether or not it was raining outside?
Oh.
You ever heard an Umar complain about the weather? We've got nothing to worry about.
Aye.
You ever tried their food? Honestly.
I have.
And?
It's alright.
Hey, it's alright. It's nothing compared to a dwarvish curry. It's got no flavour. Don't worry, I'm not making anything that'll kill them.
Oh, I know.
I don't see what you see, Sergeant, and I don't think I will.
And that's... Is there a problem with that, really? Is there a problem with our differences?
I've a small problem with you giving up your chance at being Master Architect, aye? But no, I don't have a problem with you.
God. I wish I had fleshed out Brick's backstory more.
No, it's fine. I like it. It's doing great.
Yeah.
I am a bit curious, I admit. You say you got this knowledge from this friend of yours.
Aye.
What are you gonna do with it?
At that, he chuckles. Let me show you. And he literally just puts the scale mail against his chest and hits a button on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the mail expands. It expands over the entirety of his body, forming a full suit.
Nice. Alright. He, like, comes over, whaps it with his spoon, clang clang. Right? Fair is fair. But you didn't answer my question. Aye, you showed me what you're working on, but that's not what I asked you. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to do what the dead lad wanted, Or are you going to do what Oscar Olderhake wants?
That's a difficult question.
Mushriba's good at those.
Uh-huh. Shit. Excuse me. Sorry, my words are completely failing me.
Good. Do we want the thoughtful look on Brick's face to be the last shot of the episode?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
think so.
cool. Yeah, we can fade out on Brick being like, "Hang on a minute, fuck." Yeah, totally. Good episode, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do some shout outs. Hockey, give us a shout out.
Hello, everyone. I am the Intangible Hawk. I do some programming, some art, some gaming, and all. And as soon as I can actually get the internet company to call me back to set up the appointment, I will hopefully then start streaming.
Hooray! Did you have fun tonight, Hockey?
Yeah, it was a pretty good time.
What's the matter?
I'm tired. If that's why I sound off, I'm just really tired. I basically didn't sleep at all last night.
Fair enough. Guy Gamzelis, the hero bard, will you give us a shout out, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Guy Gamzelis, the hero bard, telling the tales that need be told, and there are a lot. I've been walking my libraries looking for a good story to tell, but until then, you can always find me, if needed, on the Discords, in DMs, or on Twitter at the Homestar Comer. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your night.
I hope that was audible for you guys, because it wasn't audible for me.
I heard it at least.
Cool.
I heard it.
Sibs143, give us a shout out, please.
Hi there, my name is Sis143. I am in no particular order an artist, an admin, and a stagehand for Kit's Discord and Twitch. But to everyone else, I am a friend and the Technicolor Disaster. You can find me lurking in Twitch chat or in the Discord, but if you ever need to talk more privately, feel free to shoot me a DM and we can talk there.
Vader, finish us out, please.
Greetings, everyone. I am the Journeyman Vader. I am a moderator on Kit's Discord and Twitch, and a streamer on Twitch myself. You can find me in Kit's Discord on Twitch at twitch.tv/JourneymanVader and on Twitter at VaderSidious.
For my part, as ever, I am the sharp-eyed Kitsune, the teller of tales and the weaver of mysteries, the masked bard. This is a channel that is devoted to lore and storytelling, world-building, role-playing, and discussions of those things. So if that's to your fancy, you're in excellent company here, and I do hope that you enjoyed your time with us. I stream every single day that my health permits me to do so, and we're rolling with advantage in 2021 and beyond, which is 2 chances to catch a given stream. I am currently getting over being sick and having a completely fucked sleep schedule, but I can hopefully promise you that the remainder of this week will be loaded with tabletop stuff, even if I can't get my afternoon streams up and going. Tomorrow we've got episode 1 of the March and April Open Dice Night The Way premiering, and then on Thursday night we've got the return of Dice-Icive Action Voices of the Mountain, more D&D 5th edition goodness. Hopefully you guys will stop by if you like tabletop role-playing games, or if you don't know if you like tabletop role-playing games, we'd love to have you. For now, as ever, time to close the book on today and leave you with these parting words. From myself and my keepers and those joining me on the stage this evening, to all of you, the regulars, the followers, the newcomers, and the lurkers, whether you're just having a seat by the fire or you've got a running tab at the bar, remember, there's always more stories to tell. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time for another evening beneath the crown of Fangs and a new chapter. Good night, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.